Hey guys, how are you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you a live stream. It's been a while since I first saw you. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, it's been a minute. It has been a long while since I've done a live stream. Was feeling a bit under the weather. Voice is still, I guess you could say, kind of here and there. It is what it is. I still, put out some videos and different things of that nature. And I also want to say, much love, appreciation to those out there who happen to see those videos and came directly through. And also, was wishing me well. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Yo, shout out to James. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? So now we are back to our normalcy of doing these live streams where we are showcasing the nonsense. Yo, Bushido, what is up? What's up? Said, what is up, brother Seji? Hope you are feeling better. Bars. We are directly there. We got James in here tapped in as well. We got Miss Dultry. What is up? What is up? What is up? Said, welcome back. Seji, much love, respect, and appreciation. Concerned Black Citizen, what is going on? Said, we in the building, feel better, bro. We'll do. Will do. So now we're back to the nonsense of looking and listening to a lot of Africans stating nonsense. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this bald milk dud before, who decided to state that Black Americans don't have any culture at all, or influence, or whatever it is that he wanted to state. But he was primarily asking and for me, I'm a little bit baffled, a little bit concerned and confused on why he would ask somebody who is not even Black American what specifically is Black American culture, traditions, and everything of the sort. Like I said before, it's a little bit weird and it's a little bit odd how they never seemingly want to specifically ask, any of our scholarly Black Americans out here, any of our Black elders. And again, that dude is an elder, right? You can tell that that's an older African man. He should ask an older an older Black American individual, and have these conversations, right? That's primarily who we should be realistically talking to. We're going to play this clip and then get directly into the rest of the videos.
African Americans in this country are the only groups, they have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
Right? So we heard that clip. So this is when we go into letting other people talk real quick.
Y'all consume is Black American culture. Most of the stuff y'all see, hear, listen to, wanna wear is Black American culture. Yet y'all give white people your flowers for what? What y'all giving white people your flowers for? Like, I really don't understand it. Next time y'all say, I love the 90s style, I love the Y2K style, I love baggy clothes, Black American style. That's Black American culture. Next time y'all say, I love rock music, and y'all think of Elvis Presley. Rock music didn't start with Elvis Presley. Rock music started with Black Americans. Country music started with Black Americans. House music started with Black Americans. Techno is Black music. Hip-hop is Black music. R&B is Black music. Blues, jazz, gospel is Black music. Everything that y'all consume, most of the stuff is Black music. People dress like Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is dressed like TLC, The Brat, and MC Light. But y'all don't know who that is, so the conversation doesn't even make sense. Like, I'm so sick and tired of people thinking Black Americans don't have culture when they are the culture. Y'all love the gift and not the giver. Y'all love everything that Black people produce, but y'all don't like Black people. Y'all love everything that Black people give you, but you don't respect Black people. Y'all love everything that Black people, it only exists because of Black people. You only exist because of Black people. If it wasn't for a Black woman, y'all wouldn't even be here. Yet y'all want to hate on Black women. All of that shit don't make sense to me, bro.
That's crazy to me. That is 100% doubt. And again, like I said before, this is when you have to allow, in a sense, other people to speak, because that's the only way that people will actually pay attention to a lot of this information. Because again, the main people who have carried this notion that Black Americans don't have a culture, the Africans. Again, you got the main dude directly right here. Let me go back. Hold on. Yeah, this main
In
dude
this
right
country are
here.
the only groups, they have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
right? You got that main African guy, the representative at this moment in time, who specifically wants to state that, yo, African Americans don't have a culture. And I'm like, that's a little bit crazy, because then if we go directly into the definition, right? Culture, number one, the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievements regarded collectively. They gave an example down below: 20th century popular culture. Number two, they said the customs, the art, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. So it's a little bit weird that when we always have, us as Black Americans, we explain like, hey, we got music, we have dance, we have foods, we have other divided cultures amongst the 50 states. Because whenever people want to talk about Black Americans, they always generalize, because a lot of people, no matter how knowledgeable that they say that they are about the United States, they don't understand that in each of the United States, of each of the 50 states, you have Black people there, and those Black people there have their own history, their own traditions, their own cultures, their own foods, their own styles, their own dance, their own dialect, their own sub dialect, and everything else in between. Right. And then after that, you'll end up having some fill ins where stuff from other, Black areas around the United States come directly in a mesh, in a meld. Like I said, this is why a lot of these conversations, when it deals with people from other nationalities, doesn't really make sense, because they don't really know a lot of things about Black Americans, let alone Black American culture. They only know realistically what it is that they see and want to see, and what has already been fed directly to them. Other than that, they are not doing the necessary knowledge, gaining the necessary knowledge or information, or even trying to seek it out to get a better understanding. But yet, these are the exact same people who try to say that, oh, Black Americans, are lazy, Black Americans don't want to learn, Black Americans don't travel, Black Americans don't do. But I'm like, a lot of y'all Africans, y'all not going to each and every state to learn the cultures and the traditions and the history of those Black people in each one of those states. You're not doing that. And like I said, I can do a generalization where I could say that the culture up north is different from the culture up south when it deals with Black Americans, right? Because down south, when you think about it, it's like a hospitality. You got people coming together. You got the whole like family reunions. You got areas down there where people have I forgot what it's specifically called, but they got their own plots of land. They got their own compounds directly down there where their whole family directly is. You got people down there down south. They got family reunions stretching back 60 plus whatever years. I think I showcased one of those family reunions about 2 or 3 months ago from some young social media influencer, where she went to her family reunion and she was explaining all of the things there, the history of her people, showing the pictures, and they were giving the oral versions of a lot of the stories that were passed down and passed down and passed down from their parents and their parents' parents, and so on and so on and so on. So, like I said before, it's crazy to me how a lot of people get directly on social media and they specifically want to speak on Black Americans, saying that we don't have a culture, we don't have an art, we don't have a language. Black Americans do have a language. Do people not understand that back during the times of slavery, again, Black Americans were not automatically taught how to read and write? They had to come up with their own dialect, their own way of doing things. So music was one of those things. Whistling was one of those things. Humming was one of those things, along with whatever broken English, right? Slang or Ebonics, however it is that people want to categorize it. All of those things were used so that slaves could learn, like, all right, we're going to sit up there and leave as soon as it turns dark. We're going to fake like we're asleep, and then we're going to proceed to go yonder, right? And not only that, again, we didn't have maps. So you know what Black Americans were doing back in slavery? They had quilts. They had quilts which had different mappings on them that only they could read. When it dealt with the slave master, the slave hands, and everybody, they didn't know what in it. It was like, oh, that's just a quilt. The slaves, made that to keep warm because we're not, giving them, cotton blankets and all this other type of stuff and yada yada yada. Right. So they would hang up these different types of signs and symbols that would dictate and let people know a certain type of message if you were in the know. Like, it's crazy, 1000% crazy to me how, and that's just, I'm not even realistic. I'm not even skimming the surface. Just hearing me talk, I'm not even skimming the surface when it deals with how deep a lot of these things are. And like I said, these are a lot of things that's not even taught in schools. They're not trying to teach any of that. A lot of Africans are not aware of any of that because, again, like they said before, they didn't have to go through the things that Black Americans had to go through. So why would they know anything about that? Right? Why would they be interested? Why would they be taught anything on that? Like I said, that their school systems are not educating them on anything realistically dealing with Black Americans. Like I said, the amount of inventions that we have, that everybody around the world is using, Mr. Latimer, for example, huh? And that's just one. Everybody goes around and uses or has a light bulb somewhere in their house, right? We can also go to other aspects of the phone and so on and so on and so on. But like I said before, to try to say that we have no type of culture, that we don't have anything going, that's crazy. That's 100%. Somebody said what? Somebody say y'all keep telling yourselves so you're the best. I don't even know what you're even talking about. That's some straight clownery directly in the comment section right there. 100%. Let me tell you. But yeah, as I stated before, Black Americans have a culture. It's just the fact that everybody else doesn't want to educate themselves. They want to be hand fed information. And then even when you have Black Americans clearly explaining and dissecting and stating that, okay, this is our culture when it deals with foods, these are our traditions, these are the different languages that we have spoken for a variety of reasons, and from those languages, this is what you have today, right? The after effect on top of basic English and all of those other types of things. Because I also want to sit up there and state culturally at a moment in time, jive and things of that nature were a thing, right? That is a part of culture. It's a past culture, but it's still a part of culture. And then to note the fact that, from my understanding of what I've had to learn, is that you literally had police that had to specialize and learn the type of speech, the type of lingo in order to, try to masquerade as, to try to fit in, to try to get certain types of information, to try to do this and to try to do that in the Black community. That lets you know something. Because if it wasn't nothing important, then you wouldn't have people wanting to learn or trying to understand, right? They would just throw that directly to the wayside and do whatever it is that they wanted to sit up there and do. But obviously, that just wasn't the case, right? But it'd be like that. Oh, we got the clowns in the chat today. I love it, 100%. But anyways, let's continue.
Black Americans don't have a culture. That's wild, considering the entire global music industry is basically built on it. What do you mean? Jazz, blues, gospel, rock, R&B, soul, funk, house, techno, hip-hop. I mean, even pop as we know it today owes everything to Black American innovation. Okay, but weren't those just American genres in general? No! Jazz and blues came straight out of the African American experience. Spirituals, work songs, call and response. Rock? Literally just sped out blues. Country? Had black roots too, but those got whitewashed real fast. And hip-hop, everyone knows, was born in the Bronx. Okay, but now those genres are everywhere. Exactly, and that's the trick. Once they go global, they get cleaned up, commercialized, repackaged, and suddenly, no one remembers where they came from. So people think it's just pop culture. No, they think it's mainstream, but it is Black culture. It's just been exported so hard, people don't recognize the source anymore. Okay, but techno though? Detroit. Again, look it up.
Yep.
Oh wow, damn. Black
You know,
Americans didn't just influence the culture. They are the blueprint.
It's bars. And the craziest part is techno is another form of music of which I do like. And I remember the first Tech Fest. This is probably only for a lot of folks that's down there in Detroit. Shout out to anybody and everybody from Detroit through and through West Side. Um, I remember going to the Tech Fest with my boys, and that was the first. It was me. It was my boy Eric, Ron, Big Mike, and I think a few other people went as well too. It was dope. It was actually pretty dope, and that was when I first learned of which where techno and everything else originated from. And I'm like, I didn't even know this. I'm like, anytime that you would think or see techno, you always see people in Germany and like Europe and all that. So automatically, I'm like, yeah, it's white people did this. And I'm like, it was like, nah, this is us. This is here. I'm like, word? Yeah, yo, that blew my mind. I'm like, yo, that is crazy. That's 100% crazy. But it be like that though. It 100% be like that though. It'd be like that. So shout out to all of my Detroiters out there that to hit up the Tech Fest and that has been went there and things of that nature. I will sit up there and say as an experience of being in a mini like type of like mosh type of pit thing, don't do it. Not unless you want to sit up there and automatically start throwing hands with people. Because the white boys out there, they just be flailing arms and legs and elbows. I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, it was like one or too many times me and Big Mike had to just push somebody real quick. I'm like, nah. I'm like, bro, I'm not, I don't really like sitting up there fighting and nothing like that, but I will be throwing hands in here. We about to be helicoptering and windmilling all over the place in here. you know, like I said, it's crazy. But other than that though, it was a pretty dope and fun experience. Pretty dope music, and everything of the sort. Like I said, we all had glow sticks. It was looking like Blade. If you ever seen, and the funny thing is, I think that's why I love the scene in Blade even more. Like the moment in time in the first Blade where he walks directly into like this vampire club and you just hear like the techno just like thumping and you just hear it beat sitting up there rising and everything. I'm like, oh snap. I'm like, oh. And I think somebody actually played that. I think somebody actually played it there. I gotta ask one of my friends next time I talk to him. Like I said, crazy work, crazy work. We got Brandon V World. What is up? What is up? What is up? This man said, I've always liked like techno and house beats. My introduction to that was Mortal Kombat. Oh, yeah. Mortal Kombat, yeah. What was it? Circa 90, what, 92, 93? Some like the basically the beginning of the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, the original Mortal Kombat theme song always hits. Can't nobody tell me no different. I don't care what nobody's opinion is. Like, yo, that man, that song goes hard. Let me tell you, that song goes hard, 100%. Bushido said the opening scene, right? Yeah, that should be the opening scene. That should be the opening scene. Like that is crazy, man. 100%. Uh, let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, test your mic. Yeah. I would actually play that, but YouTube be acting funny with stuff. Like I would actually play like the whole song. I kid you not. Be dancing in my chair. I kid you not. But anyways, let's continue to where I can actually take down some of these. Yeah, let me make sure to take down some of these. I can take down some of these so we continue. And I just wanna sit up there and state for a lot of the some of the people that I just happen to showcase. Like this next person, I do
Ruffle
not
some
claim this
feathers.
dude at all. I don't know whose family this dude is a part of. You are ashamed to a lot of bloodlines out there. He made actually a second video to double down. He made like a 5 to a 6 minute video, doubling down on what he's about to state. At this moment in time, which is crazy. But here we go. And again, he's going to say we. I don't know who he is.
I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but there's no black culture in America. I'll be on the internet talking about some black culture this and black culture that, and we don't have one. What we do have in the black community is trends. That's what we do have. Because what you guys refer to and call black culture in America is only what's popular at that moment. We went from hip hop to streetwear to designer to anime. Now it's country boots and cowboy hats. We're calling that a culture shift? Like, just be real. You guys are copying popular trends and then slapping the label of a culture on it and thinking it's okay. Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter. Now everybody want to square dance now, right? It's not about boots. It's about relevance when it comes to y'all. Y'all not country or performative. I don't care about rodeos, tractors, land, southern values. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I care about aesthetics, IG reels, what can get you a bunch of views, likes, comments, and reposts on TikTok. Skinny jeans and Vans were still popular. I'd be in the club still pin dropping and jerking. But because wearing cowboy boots has hit the algorithm, now suddenly you're a ranch hand. It's not culture, bro. Y'all just be clout chasing with a costume on. Culture is built on tradition, values, and rituals, not popular music and social media trends. Till we stop dressing like hashtags, actually stand for something, we will never have culture. We got whatever is currently hot in the moment. If you're bothered by me saying this, have you thought about the possibility that the shoe may fit?
So, like I said before, a lot of times when you have these type of folks, they're speaking to a specific demographic in order to get that engagement, in order to get that money, because they know that a certain demographic will like this type of speech. They'll be like, ah, right on, right with you, brother. Yeah, he's speaking the truth. He's a critical thinker. I want to buy him a beer. It's like, always speaking to a certain demographic in order to appease, right? Got to talk down on one in order to speak up directly to others. Now, the craziest thing is he wants to say we as a culture. So if he is different than everybody else, why say we, and why not point out individually how you, as whoever it is that you are, what it is that you guys do culturally? If he says that he is Black American or whatever, point out what your people do, what your family do in your location culturally, and then make a comparison in between the other Black Americans in their culture by state to state to state, and so on and so on and so on. Because it's very easy to paint a broad brush directly on Black Americans, easiest target, bar none, because it's been done historically for the longest time. So everybody's used to doing it, everybody's used to seeing it, used to hearing it. So it's like, that's the main go-to. Versus if it deals with any other culture, even if you can historically speak on and spot negative things that have happened in the past or are still currently happening at this moment in time, nobody's going to sit up there and focus on that when it deals with that group of people, right? Those entities. Whereas Black Americans, it's like, oh yeah, we're just going to sit up there and do this. We don't care nothing about whatever history, whatever inventions, whatever you've added to America, to the world, and all of these. We don't care about that. The main things that people keep listening: slavery, rap music, crime. That's it. When you literally go online and you pay attention to how it is that people speak about Black Americans, those are the primary three things that they all decide to listen. Doesn't matter what part of the globe that you decide to go on, what ethnicity any of these individuals are, those are the main three things that they go to. None of them can ever, as I've stated before in previous videos and live streams, none of them can ever point towards or speak on Black Americans in a positive light. They can't. They don't know how to, because they don't know anything positive. Because again, a lot of these people seek only the negative. They look to the negative. Like I told you guys about the algorithm, a lot of people who always speak negatively about Black Americans have fine-tuned their algorithm just for that information. So that's all they're going to get. So if you have people out there that believe that Black Americans don't have a culture, the algorithm is going to be fine-tuned to give you people who have the exact same opinion, who think the exact same way, and then they're going to list their opinions or their quote-unquote facts to prove how Black Americans don't have a culture. If you have people out here that believe, oh, Black Americans, they just always do crime, the algorithm and everything else is going to fine-tune itself to only give you and show you those things of which that you believe. I keep telling people this, but for whatever reason, people don't seem to understand how AI and how a lot of these things work. Some of the smartest people of which that I've seen show up directly into the chat, they want to say this, that, and the third about the conversation, not even stay directly on topic, don't even understand that as they speak right now, and chances are they're on a phone, as you type, AI is basically reading it. Google has AI written directly through your phones, right? The same thing with YouTube. AI written directly through your phones. Every single app that you have has a connection directly to AI. Whatever you put in, shout out to my ringtone. Zero range of 5. But as stated before, AI is connected through each one of these things. So every single time that you type, every single time that you speak, every single time that an advertisement may play, the algorithm switches and it changes and it gives you what it is that you are specifically looking for and or seeking. So when I happen to say that people aren't looking for the information because they're just going to stay stagnant, they're just going to stay in that comfortable zone of ignorance, that's what I mean, because that's what people surround themselves directly with. There was somebody, I think, in the comment section asking a specific question about Black Americans and whatnot or whatever. But I'm thinking to myself as I'm listening to the video and reading through the comments, but I'm like, you're on a phone or a computer. You literally have a smart device in front of you, but you're not smart enough to use it to get the answers of which that you want. You want to be fed the information. And even when you're given the information, you already in your mind have a pre-written statement on how it is that you're going to discredit and dissect and say that no, that's still not right. So this is why I try to tell people in a lot of instances, it's not even, it doesn't even matter if Black Americans can give people 100% proof. People just don't want to believe it. They don't care about it just in general, because a lot of people just want to have something to argue about. And the easiest thing to try to discredit and to try to argue about and do all of these things is just solely Black Americans. That's it. Like I said, it's very crazy out here. It's very diabolical. Very diabolical. Somebody said, "What are your views on race mixing? What are your views?" My hold on. This is I'll put it like this. Let me try to do it like a lot of people have done on this channel. Let me all lives matter it. Why would you care? Hold on. Let me let me all lives this for a matter. Why would you, if you know everybody's equal, why would you care about race mixing? Why should it matter? Everybody's human to begin with. Color and race is just a construct developed by the rich in order to further divide the people. Why would you actually care about race mixing? What is it going to harm when it deals with you and your people? If we're all one people, we're all one culture. That's how people normally try to tell me a lot of things. Right? We're all one people, we're all God's children. So why should race mixing even matter? Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Don't y'all normally sit up there and say that we're all one, we're all God's children, we're all created in God's image? And it's like, if that's the case, then God is multiracial himself, then, correct? In order to create people in his image. Right? One would have to be multiracial in order to create multiple races. Correct? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking a little bit too deep. Maybe I have a misunderstanding directly in it. But again, it's always, a little bit odd to me that the same people who want to preach God, 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 Christianity, Christianity, religion, 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 belief, 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 faith, 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 are the main ones always asking somebody, how do you feel about interracial? How do you feel about race mixing? I thought we were all one people. Why would it matter? Huh? If it matters, that means that there's obviously something there, and that obviously we're not all created equal, and we're obviously not all God's children. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out. Someone said, "Wow, you Americans are brainwashed and so poor, and you don't build anything while you're being brainwashed. It's really pathetic." I know you're a troll. You talk. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now you just generalize. You said Americans don't build nothing. Yo, where the white people at? Yo, white people, get on this man right here. What are y'all doing? Y'all gonna sit in the background and allow some ingrate to disrespect America and say that y'all don't build nothing? Whoa. You know how much colonization is going on with white folks? How they modernized society in the United States? Huh? 13 colonies and such. Didn't build nothing, didn't take nothing over, didn't steal it and and revitalize it. Didn't do none of that. And then the rest of the states, right? Got everybody here speaking English. All of these buildings and structures that we currently have at this moment in time, modern and secret technology, some diabolical work. That is crazy. Woo! That is crazy. You really set up there and said Americans like that. Americans don't build nothing. You are the most. You better not ever step foot in America. This is why I sat up there and told people before the anonymity that happens online. If they were to put people's actual names out there, like if you wanted to make a comment online, your full name would be directly up there. That needs to happen because comments like this, that's ridiculous. That's 1,000%. Like you're trying to make it seem as though that America is a third world country. Do you know? Excuse me. Yo, that is crazy. That is diabolical. That is 100% diabolical. 100%. Woo! Diabolical. But like I said before, at the end of the day, we're all God's people, though, right? Race mixing shouldn't matter. Got all lives as like a lot of people would normally do on my channel. Let me see what we got. Celtic flutes. Somebody said not just white Americans, all Americans modernized America today. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. But I was just saying, because in one end, people in the comment section want to specifically talk about Black Americans, try to list some history and different stuff of that nature, and say Black Americans are this, that, and the third, right? Going for the negative, but then don't want to say nothing about the positive, you know. So I gotta come at things from different angles out here. Like what else we got? What was that? Yeah, comment section. Making a comment. Yeah, it's crazy. Diabolical. Somebody said I'm not a conservative. I'm a fascist. I mean, I guess hey, whatever you want to be. Ah, somebody. Oh yeah. I saw and before I got online, I saw the article about Honda, how some people ended up getting arrested and caught up in that. Yeah, I think they're getting sent back to Korea. I think it is. I'll probably go over that article at the probably towards like the tail end of the live stream, maybe like somewhere in the middle. I'll probably read off and go over on that. So there's hardly any positive events of music. Well, first of all, I don't even know who you are. Just to be real. Chances are you're not Black American. Realistically. Chances are you're a troll. And just like most people who happen directly through the doom scroll, you came directly upon this channel. Was like, let me sit up there and troll and rage bait real quick and see how far I can sit up there and get, so I can go back to my friends and let them know how great of an e-pin that I got directly online. It'd be like that. As I stated before, a lot of you basement dwellers decide that you want to happen upon a lot of channels and y'all want to troll. Now, if you wanted to try to rage bait directly on Twitter, all right, cool. I got you. I see what you're doing there. You out there, trying to make money, 25 cents a day. We'll sit up there and feed this man. Right? No problem. I got you. Even if you wanted to rage bait on TikTok, I got you. All right, you want to sit up there and make a few dollars. Okay, cool. No problem. You're in the YouTube comment section during the live stream trying to sit up there and rage bait, and you're not going to gain or make any type of sense directly from it. So you're just as useless as the comments that you make. It's like it makes no sense. Like I said, I gave you two other ways of which you could actually be beneficial to yourself and make money from the trolling that you're doing. And like I said, I get it. People can sit up there and troll. It's all good, but it is what it is. It be like that. Be like that. Somebody said, I will take my leave. I guess so. I guess you will take your leave. We didn't force you out. You forced yourself out. But anyways, let's continue directly with the commentary. Let me see. Who else do I want to go directly into that was being disrespectful? Yes. Let's go to the English. So we're going to go across the pond all the way over to the UK, and we're going to watch
America.
this African or islander decide that he want to speak negatively about Black Americans. And I want y'all to understand this is what we talk about when it deals with culture, when it deals with influence and things of this nature, and how it's exported and it's all over the world. And people don't even realize it. And they try to, because they don't want to realize it and they don't want to identify it, they take it and they state that it's theirs. Everything that this English dude is wearing, how it is that he's wearing it, how it is that he styled it, all of this is Black American. I just want every single person out here to understand that. No other groups of peoples out here can claim the stylings of this, but Black America. This ain't coming from Africa. This ain't coming from the islands. This ain't coming from Asia. This ain't coming from Europe. It's not coming from South America. It's not coming from Canada. It's not coming from Australia. It's not coming from the ice walls of Antarctica. It is coming directly from Black Americans. But yet, people dressed like this, styled like this, want to say that Black Americans don't have a culture, don't have an effect in all of these other things. Let's get into it.
Certain people don't know where they're from. Americans. How do some of them are coming up to us English? Yeah, if we was to say to them, "Where you from?" Be like, "I'm Black American, African American." Yeah, but where are you from? You're not just Black American. Like, I understand that that's part of you. If someone was to ask where I'm from, part of it is English. I was born here. I've got it in my blood. But I also know where I'm from. Descendants, they don't know
because it's
brother. What? Let me just roll back to this clown. Let me just roll back. Nothing. He said he's English. What is English? Let me know. Somebody in the comment section, let me know what is English about his clothing, about his styling. Because whenever I imagine England, I don't imagine them looking like Black Americans. Like how did you get this? How did this even happen? You said you're English because you're born there. That's cool, but how do normal English people even dress? I don't even know what that looks like, because anytime I see Black immigrants or migrants over there in England, y'all are dressed like us. Y'all sitting up there getting fades, y'all getting tapers, y'all got like some Caesars, y'all got all of this stuff that y'all naturally do not do in Africa. So I'm like, what is specifically you there in the UK other than your food? Because y'all wearing J's, that's not you. You wearing Nikes, that's not you. You wearing Reeboks, that's not you. Y'all didn't make those. I'm not even sure if y'all even wearing Air Force Ones or whatnot. But I'm saying, like, the stylings, that's not even you. Like, anytime I see these Africans, it's like, dog, you look like us because you're dressing like us. Where is your like African pride and heritage, dog? Like, y'all say that y'all so proud. The only time that I see Africans proud online is when they're on Twitter and they got their flags and their banners. When they're on TikTok, they got their flags and their banners. When they're on YouTube, they got their flags and their banners. But whenever I actually see them out in nature, out yonder, I can't even tell that they're African. Why are you not wearing your natural African gear? And I'm talking about just in normal, like, warm weather. I'm talking about like it's 70, maybe 80, maybe like a nice, cool, 68 degrees, right? Why are you not wearing the normal stuff that you wear in Africa everywhere else? Because you're proud, right? I, as a Black American, I'm going to dress and style myself as a Black American no matter where it is that I go. So you're going to know who it is that I am. I ain't trying to sit up there matching. I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to masquerade. I'm not trying to cosplay as nobody else. You're going to know specifically who it is that I am every single time. But like I said, when it deals with a lot of y'all, what happened? What happened? And then on top of, like, dog, you got the cap directly on sideways. You got the do-rag. I mean, I really ain't seen that type of hat style in a sense since like the 2000s, like the early 2000s. Just to be real, I haven't really seen that in a while. Just like out there, just like as soon as you step outside, you see a brother like wearing that automatically. Like I haven't even worn that since like the early 2000s. So I'm like, bro, are y'all stuck in like a time warp or something like that? Did your time machine just like stop on a certain dial? Like what's happening? Like culturally speaking, why is it that a lot of these melanated, migrants from Africa and elsewhere, why is it that it's like culture wise, you guys are like stuck in like some early 2000s? Like y'all haven't moved past that. I'm just a little bit confused. You would have almost like realistically, if you would have put him back into like some early 2000s, like some 04, 05, 06, you would have thought this was possibly a copy of Jay Holiday or something. Like that's how crazy this is. And this dude don't even realize how much he is copying Black Americans while trying to make a mockery of Black Americans in a way in which he tried to put on some crazy, sounding generic Black American accent. Brother, what? What are we talking about here? And you thought you was really on point, and then this dude got his cup of tea directly on, his left hand. Brother, come on. And this is why Black Americans have the responses that we have online, because all of y'all come through disrespectful for no reason. Like, why are you like y'all always want to have, especially in the UK, y'all always want to have these conversations, but y'all never have Black Americans in these spaces to actually have these conversations. That's wild to me. That's 100% wild. Like, dog, to be real, technically, everything that he's wearing right now, this is like circa Omarion from like B2K, early 2000s. B2K from the early 2000s. If you go back and look up any of those photos of Omarion and B2K, this is what you get. This was almost like some standard issue stuff. Matter of fact, I think even Cisco did this. So I'm like, dog, you are stuck in a time loop. I need you to progress in the future. Like I said, I don't know what you're doing. You need to do something different. Realistically, I'm just saying. We got Brandon V. World said, my boy lives in the 2000s. Yeah. Ishmael said, I'm gonna put you to bed. Yeah. Yo, classic songs out there. Classic songs. Finding My True Self said, what was that? That's what he looking like. And yep, Jay Holiday. Yeah. So Brandon V. World said, yeah, no, not Jay Holiday. Yeah, it be like that. Oh yeah, Brandon V. World said, my boy, thank you, Allen Iverson or something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's AI up there too. Mo said Nick Cannon from Drumline. Yeah, yep. But anyways, my bad. I wasn't trying to, talk so much on that. Let's continue.
Descendants, they don't know.
Because it's slavery. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the slavery thing of, I don't want to get on that, but it's hundreds of years ago. So obviously down the bloodline, they don't know where they're from. So for families of generations, it's South Carolina, Texas, Mississippi, whatnot. But they may not know the African roots or whatnot. But
I think the difference is that obviously you were born here, you have some English in you, but like your parents weren't born here. But a lot of the Black Americans,
my mom and dad were born here.
Oh, they were born
and
here.
And my dad has white in him, which is why I'm quarter.
Their grandparents, all of them were.
Let me hold on. Wait. Let me just freeze it right there. He said his parents were born there and his dad has white in him. This is why I try to tell people, and this is nothing against those out there that are biracial. I just want y'all to understand this. I, as a Black American, I don't have no problems with y'all up until y'all start opening y'all mouths and start talking about other Black people. Because I'm like, y'all got so many more things going on bloodline wise that you need to be worried about than this. This is just not it. This is not for him to have even a conversation. First of all, he's from the UK. Second of all, his parents are runners and track stars, and instead of being directly in the home of origin, they ran to a European country. Third of all, you are in the UK, born and raised, child of immigrants, and you are not even dressed as anything that is reminiscent of your family, your heritage, or your culture. You're dressed everything such as a Black American, but you're born and raised in the UK. Number four, you're not even Black American. So I'm not even sure why in your UK brain you decided that you want to even have this conversation on the podcast with a whole bunch of other people that are not even Black American. Like what are we doing here? How does this like how do y'all just think that this works and that this is just going to sell and that everybody's gonna be like, yeah, this is a good conversation. No, this is the wrong conversation. This is the wrong conversation. And this is why we tell y'all to shut up because y'all are massively disrespectful. Y'all don't know any of which of what it is that y'all are even talking about. Y'all can only, again, like I said before, what were the main things that I set up there and told y'all that people can always bring up? What was it? Slavery, hip hop, crime. That's all people can talk about because that's all they know, because that's all they want to know, because that's how simple minded a lot of people are. A lot of people ain't trying to learn nothing new. A lot of people ain't trying to get new information. That's going to overload their brains. Case in point, look directly at the conversation here when it deals with these people talking. All of them have computers, a supercomputer in their hand, which is Google. Black Americans got TikToks directly out here. We got YouTube channels directly out here educating people on Black history, on Black culture, on Black traditions throughout these 50 states here in the United States. But yet we consistently have these conversations of people trying to tell Black Americans, y'all don't have no culture, y'all don't know where it is that you come from. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You got Black Americans here that can go back to the 1700s. But even still, like I said before, even still with Black Americans saying that, people will be like, okay, that's cool. The 1700s. But where are those people from? Like I said, man, everybody always wants to move the goalposts. Everybody always wants to argue versus understand, versus it being a finite type of thing. Nobody's attacking Haitians and Jamaicans, right? Because people have stated that they're supposedly African, right? Nobody's sitting up there trying to tell them, oh, it's great that you got your freedom in 18 something, but where are you from? Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody's doing that to the Haitians. Nobody's doing that to the others directly out there in the Caribbean. Like I said before, this is a primarily focused attack from all groups, from all ethnicities, directly on Black Americans out of the world's population. Realistically, we're only what 40 to 50 million deep here in the United States, right? We are a ultra minority directly out here. But yet, for whatever reason, all of this energy and focus and conversation is on us. It don't even make sense. And nobody believes that this is a targeted attack. Nobody believes that something is specifically up, that this one group of people out of all of the other many groups, out of all of the many different cultures and stuff out there, this one group, everybody is so fixated on and continuously making content and making, all these other types of podcasts and videos surrounding us. Come on now. And people want to try to get online and try to tell Black Americans, oh, stop thinking so highly of yourself. You're not really the center of the universe. This, that, and the third. So, but you guys are making content about us. You guys are always talking about us. You guys are always mentioning us. You are trying to educate us and tell us we have no culture, no type of language. We don't got an art. We don't got a music. Everybody around the world is trying to sit up there and say that, oh, Black Americans, you guys didn't create hip hop and rap. It was actually every other. It was the Caribbeans. It was the Haitians. It was the Jamaicans. It was the Latins. It was the Italians. It was the Germans. It was the Scots. Y'all want to put everybody else as creators of this art form, but yet when we talk about rap, you guys listed as a negative when it deals with Black Americans. So I'm like, how is it possible, right? So the whole world collectively, just like when the whole world came around and it was like, yo, back in the 1960s or whatever it is, we're going to sit up there and make sure that nobody around the world can come to Antarctica. We're going to make a treaty. Don't matter what wars or disagreement, religiously or other, is happening. We're going to come together as a world and say that no wars or anything like that, not even a gun can go off in Antarctica. The whole world agreed on that, right? So then out of nowhere, we got the whole world basically trying to agree that, yeah, Black Americans, y'all didn't create hip hop. This is not you. This is not your culture. It was a collective effort from everybody around the world. You just don't know the history. You got to understand what it is. But then when we bring up rap again and we talk about it, y'all be like, no, rap is crap. Rap is this, rap is that. It's not an actual art form. It's nothing but negative debauchery. This is that and the third. It's criminalized behavior. It's gang culture. This is. I'm like, this don't even make sense. I'm like, if something was created by the world, then it's going to stay directly with the world. It's not going to just go to one segmented group and just stay specifically with them and just fall to the wayside. Again, like I said before, y'all didn't sit up there and grade that. I don't care who y'all name. I don't care who y'all sit up there and list, because some of y'all greatest have sat up there and said that their influence came directly from Black Americans. So without the influence, it would not have been created. Shout out to James Brown, right? And the many other Black Americans who are a part of rock and roll. And that's the funny part. Like I said before, even when it deals with like Little Richard and James Brown and things of that nature, a lot of Black artists put a lot of white artists on, and white people don't even want to acknowledge that. They don't even want to admit that. So, like I said, the current landscape that you even have of rock and roll, I'm talking about even of the past of like the Mick Jaggers and all this other type of stuff. Like, yo, they were under the name of Little Richard. If Little Richard was not touring, was not sitting up there moving, those groups would not have been moving either. Nobody around the world would have learned about any of y'all groups. Like I said, that is the power, that is the influence of Black Americans. We make things shake, we make things move, we put things on notice because we have the Midas touch. That is just what we do. But because we have that power and ability, everybody wants to sit up there and try to lay claim to it or say that it doesn't exist and the power comes from another source. Oh yeah, that Midas touch that you got, it's African in origin. But I'm like, if you got the if the Midas touch that Black Americans have came directly from Africa, why can't you put the Midas touch on yourselves? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait and see that, because it hasn't been done. Hasn't been done. But yet it came from the source. Doesn't make sense. Like I said, if it came directly from quote unquote source, we wouldn't be needed. Y'all wouldn't have to sit up there and tell us that we're African. We'll be left directly to the wayside. Like I said, anyways, wait, did I miss what's the name down there? Shout out to DCA for the $5 dono. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Also, we had Brandon V World said, why do they think that's a flex? That they know their culture. We know our culture as well. Bars. 100%. Shout out to Brandon V World for the $5 dono. And Brandon V World said that Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones and the Beatles took inspiration from James Brown, Little Richard, and Chuck Berry. Bars. Straight bars from the $5 dono from Brandon V World. Like I said before, there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of history directly there. And like I said, a lot of Africans and many other people out there don't want to focus in on that, because they would have to actually acknowledge the greatness of Black Americans and actually acknowledge that we have built and established a lot of things. Like I said, Black Americans, this is just how we are. We give platforms to other people because we understand how things tend to work. And we know it'll be easier if we basically create something, have a platform to allow other people to stand on. Like I said, that's how nice we are. But now we got to pull back that niceness because everybody wants to be disrespectful. So, like I said, people are going to have to learn a very hard lesson. So now, instead of seeing a lot of music collaborations with Black Americans, with other artists from other cultures and stuff, it's going to be closed in. You're not going to be seeing that no more, because everybody wants to be disrespectful and want to decide to tell Black Americans, oh, we can say this, we can say that. You're not going to control what it is that we say. And no problem. So you can say and do that by yourself. We're not going to highlight your music. We're not going to highlight your people. We're not going to sit up there and collaborate with you no more. We're going to start to circle in the wagons. We're going to start to close the doors. In the moment in time, like I told people before, that these doors and the circle in the wagons start happening, this is when you start seeing what online that I showed y'all. Everybody wants to say that, oh, Black Americans, you guys are xenophobic. Why are you guys so hateful? Why are you guys segregationalists? Why are you guys so racist? Nah, because we now decided to make a line out of all of the times that we've been so disrespected, the millions of times that we've been disrespected by the multitudes of groups and cultures directly out there. The moment of time that we draw that line, now we're hateful. Now we're racist. Now we have a phobia of every single group and people directly out there. We're African phobic, right? We're immigrant phobic. We're xenophobic. We're all these phobias now. And I keep trying to tell people that I don't have a fear. I don't have a fear at all. But if people want to decide to make a story in order to fit their narrative that they're the good guy and I'm the bad guy, whatever allows you and helps you sleep directly at night, it be like that. That's why I'm here. But anyways, let me let's continue.
which is why I'm quarter.
But
Their grandparents, all of them were born in the
yeah,
US.
two generations ago is a different country. For them, it would be like 8 generations ago, it would still be in the same place. But I remember, I think I heard like an interview, like Lil Baby said he went to like a footballer's party, and then he was come across all these international people, and they'd be like, "Where you from?" He'd be like, "From Atlanta," and people like, "No, like, where you from?" The guy's like, "Bro, Atlanta, bro. Like, that's all I know." Which is like why I think stuff like a lot of people get into like ancestry, DNA, and whatnot. But then you also, if you look at with the Black Americans as well, even though it may not, was some things of African culture roots, what ties into it, whether it's hairstyling or nail styling or whatnot. But you can also commend them for how much culture that they've done, which has influenced the whole world, bro. Like stuff like hip hop, or not even just stuff like that, but a whole bunch of things from the black culture, which is very influential. Yo, let me tell you something. Black culture is influential,
Bro, we
very, very influential.
want man.
A lot of people be biting the drip, or they want to try to bite the style or whatnot, and that's coming from all types of black culture, whether it's black Latino, black Caribbean, black African, African American, black African American, maybe even black European as well, bro.
I'm not sure. Let me just go back there. I'm trying to hold on. Let me just go back here right there. Let me see.
Bro, like stuff like hip hop, or not even just stuff like that, but a whole bunch of things from the black culture, which is very influential. Yo, let me tell you something. Black culture is influential,
Bro, we
very, very influential.
want man.
A lot of
Let me This clown right here, I'm not sure what he's talking about with some we run this. What are you talking about? What are you See, this is when I have an issue with a lot of these conversations again. When he wants to say that black culture is influential, you mean black American culture. Don't you see? Because, like I said, y'all be trying to muddy the waters and trying to throw all of these other groups in there. Y'all don't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm so sorry. I don't know whatever it is to sit up there and tell people. I don't care how offended people sit up there and get. When we talking about an influential culture, we're talking about black Americans. I don't know nothing about no black Germans. Africans ain't sitting up there doing nothing musically. I'm just being real. Just being real. Musically, they not really sitting up there. It's not on the same landscape. It is just it's just not. It's just not. It's just it is just not. The real reason, let me sit up there and put it like this. When you have some African beats or some African music basically moving, that's due to the effect of the top artists at the time. So maybe you might have like a Cardi B, you might have a Nicki Minaj, right? Cardi B said that she's Afro Caribbean or whatever it is that she Afro Latina or something like that. She don't claim to be Black American. She said that on trial. You got Nicki Minaj. Her people is from like the islands, right? You got Drake. Drake is biracial, right? When any of those three artists, and I'm just specifically mentioning them, when any of those three artists happen to use music from other places, it gets picked up, it gets hot, and it's able to sit up there and move and different stuff of that nature, right? In general, Black Americans, we don't need somebody to pick up our music in order to make it hot. We automatically make it hot. As soon as we do it, it's hot. Like that's how it works. Because we sit up there, we got it cooking wherever it is that we got it cooking, right? And then when we deliver it, it's still going to be fresh. Like you got the brand new grease, fresh grease, the good grease directly on that food to keep it hot as it's being transported from one place to another. So you get a very great, nice, tasty product every single time. So this is why you can end up having black artists go to Germany and have sold out concerts. They can go to Australia. They can go to Africa. They can go to Canada. They can go to South America. They can go to Asia. It's not because one of their artists from those different areas picked up our music and made us hot. We made ourselves hot because that's how it works. When it deals with other people in their music, only specifically, they will be hot in their region. right? So somebody like Burna Boy, I think he's what, like Nigerian, I think it is. He's hot over there, right? I think what was the other dude, WizKid or something like that? They hot over there. But up until other American artists picked them up, that's when the heat really started. Well, I'm sorry, I can't sit up there and claim Drake. I'm sorry. That is Canada, OVO, right? The six, as they like to sit up there and say. Drake is not, American, right? Technically, I can't even really sit up there and say when it deals with Nicki Minaj and what's the name, because they're not even Black American, realistically. So, I mean, I guess you could sit up and say other immigrants allow other immigrants a platform, but yet all of those immigrants have a platform because of what it is that Black Americans think. So, any which way it goes, we still make it hot. Any which way it goes, we still sit up there and make it hot. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. You said that the volume is way too low, huh? Wait, how's the? I mean, to my knowledge, everybody else is able to hear. I think. I don't know. I mean, I did turn the knob a little bit on my microphone, so maybe they might have put things up or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Somebody said that all beats are African. Speaking of, like, I just want you to understand this, right? Whenever y'all write stuff like this, it's a little bit empty because you're only going to point this towards one group of people. Whenever you think about white people, y'all ain't trying to sit up there and say that, oh, everything that white people do, that's African. Y'all ain't trying to do that. Y'all not going over there to China and Japan and be like, oh, y'all original and traditional music. Oh, all of that y'all do, that's African beats. It's like y'all didn't know that, Asians. Yeah, all of that is Africa. Come back home, Asians. Come back home. We created you. Y'all ain't doing that. So it's like it's crazy when I get comments just like this, and people want to say like, "Oh, all of these beats are African." Mic drop. You didn't drop no mic because y'all don't even have a mic. Like, what are we talking about? You got rolling blackouts over there in Africa at this current time. Like, I got brownouts that y'all playing, but y'all don't plan those for the white areas where the white folks are in Africa. Y'all don't do that. You primarily do that specifically to the Africans, living in certain places. That's some diabolical work. That's crazy. Like I said before, all right, right. You want to say that all beats are African, right? Cool, no problem. What about the Midas touch that Black Americans have? How about that one? How about that one? How about the Midas touch that Black Americans have? I want to see any and all Africans try to claim that. I want to see that because I've yet to see it. For whatever reason, that's the most ignored thing because can't nobody figure out a way out of all of the people that want to try to claim everything around that hand, nobody can actually claim the hand that makes things hot. How is that possible? Right? But yet everybody want to say that everything is African though, huh? Like again, like the commenter said, oh, all the beats are African. Okay, so what is the Midas touch that Black Americans have? Who owns that? Who created that? Where did that originate from? Because please don't say Africa. Please don't say that. Because I'm gonna have a lot of questions. I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Because my first question, just in case anybody want to be stupid enough to jump stupid, if the Midas touch that Black Americans have came from Africa, why hasn't that been perfected? If it came directly from the source, and why haven't Africans used it to deliver the Midas touch to themselves? Because, like I said before, whenever Black Americans, when we touch our own things, it becomes gold. Whenever anybody else touches their own stuff, it's still plastic. So again, I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. Like I said, everybody wants to try to claim everything around that hand, but can't claim that hand. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And I wonder what is the ground underneath that hand. I wonder. Because, like I said, everybody is fighting to sit up there and claim everything around that golden hand. Everything. It don't matter if it's a tree, it's a dirt, whatever living cells, whatever bacteria, whatever germ. Everybody's trying to lay some type of claim to everything around that golden hand, but yet none of y'all can actually claim that hand. I wonder why. Hmm. Interesting. But anyways, let's continue with a little bit of that video.
A lot of people be biting the drip, or they want to try to bite the style or whatnot, and that's coming from all types of black culture, whether it's black Latino, black Caribbean, black African, African American, black African American, maybe even black European as well, bro.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I don't know nothing about no black Europeans. Like I said, no disrespect to the black Germans. Y'all just caught strays. Any other black Europeans out there? Like I said, I don't really know nothing about y'all. Because it is what it is. Again, a lot of people are just hitting, and within a lot of conversations, things don't happen to get acknowledged or highlighted up until certain points. Like I said, the whole thing that people got mad about, the Africans got mad about black Americans when it dealt with like the black Irish and the black Scots. And we were like, yo, it's like y'all, y'all really out here and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, we already knew that there were people out there, right? What we're saying is by not knowing, they are not presented, they are not present, they're not showcased, they have no representation. Like I said, for whatever reason, whenever black Americans speak, this is how I know that we got different types of English directly out here. So again, this is a cultural thing. Everybody else who is not black American, whenever black Americans say something, they either take it literal or they don't even understand what it is that we're seeing. That we're saying, yeah. Like I said, if we say like, all right, that's a whole paragraph. If we sit up there and say like, we'll see, that's a whole paragraph. If we sit up and say we'll be back in I see you in 5 minutes. Like I said, for people that are black American, this is cultural. This is a thing that is directly within us. Right? This is something that we have been around, that we've heard, that is still here, that is still present, that is still used directly to this day. A lot of these other folks out here, they don't know nothing about that. They don't know what that means. Like I said, if you're black American, you know what you know what it means. I don't even gotta explain it. Like I said, you sitting up there saying like what's up or a head nod again. You just spoke, 2 to 3 sentences real quick within about a short span of like 2 to 5 seconds. It ain't nothing even like have to be done. Like I said, Jesus Christ. There's so much depth to black culture traditions and all of this other type of stuff. A lot of them they don't know because they just got here. And that's how you know a lot of these people ain't from here. No matter how much they want to masquerade, especially the melanated ones when they want to get like a fade or a Caesar and all this other type of. Like I said, I gave y'all a video of one of the dudes that wanted to pull up to the scene like, oh, I'm not black. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see if I can just find that clip real quick. Because like I said, for a lot of y'all Africans out here, y'all be moving wholly disrespectful. What is that? 0905. Got you. Let me pull that up for y'all just so I can give y'all a clear-cut example of what it is that I'm talking about. 0905. This one right here.
Black American. A lot of people when they see me, they think I'm Black American. Akata. Kambaku Nishi. Awomakata. 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 I'm from Abia State.
So I know. Right? So you saw that, right? So let's go back to this African with this crooked hairline. I wanted to sit up there. Let me make sure to try to get him when he's looking straight forward. Oh, let me try to get this. Got to get it far back, about right there. Let me tell y'all something for y'all Africans directly out here that try to masquerade. I don't know what type of barber. I don't know if this man used like a shovel. I don't know if it might have been like a kitchen knife. I don't know if it was like, I don't know what you use. You use something. But somebody did not do well. Like I'm not sure if like his cranium is just misshapen. I don't know what it is, but something is off. Something is off. Right? But somebody said that the earth is round, but I'm looking at a flat surface in a sense, and it's not making sense. The math is not mathing. And wait, let me, brother, what? Dog, I would almost want to say that this is like AI generated because this is like this whole haircut is not even making sense. From the left to the right, to the line, to the cranium. Brother, who thought that you were black American? Who? Who? No, you look like an alien from outer space. What is going on? No, nobody in their right minds. Your own people probably mistook you for a black American. Ain't no ain't no black American sit up there and mistake you. Like, brother, what? This man looking like the child of Yakub out here. But no, I'm playing. But yo, it's crazy. Yo, this is crazy, brother. Yo, let me tell you something. I ain't never in my life. I ain't never. And and if you think about the '90s when they dealt with Black Americans, like the lineups, the type of hairlines that we had back then, yo, it was looking crazy. It was looking real crazy. And then yo, we set up there and fixed it. We got it together and everything. But this right here, this don't make no sense. How do you sit up there and masquerade and cosplay as Black Americans, right? You want to get your hair cut. Who is your barber? Did you fly to Africa and then fly back and came here and then decided to do this? Like who did you specifically? I need to see the hands of the man that did this hair. I need to see it. I need to see it. I need to see it because I am in full on disbelief of the black barber. Whatever barber did this, he needs to be fired and take his license away. He needs to be revoked. He needs to be jailed, and that school needs to be shut down. Because it ain't no way. It ain't no way. It ain't no way you sitting up here telling me that people mistake you as being Black American because, especially because of their hairstyle. Nah, brother. That is not us. That is not us. I done sat up there and had some crooked cuts, but it wasn't looking like this. Brother, my world is shifted. I am tilted at this moment in time, and I wear glasses. And I'm still trying to look left and right on this screen to try to find like a center, to try to find a balance, and I can't. I cannot. Like it's just not there. It is not happening. But like I said before, for a lot of you Africans, this is how y'all look. Every single time that y'all decide that y'all want to open your mouths and you want to talk about Black Americans, this is exactly how you guys look. And I'm like, if you're going to talk about us, don't speak. First of all, don't speak English. Don't do that. Speak your African language. Do that. Speak whatever African tongues that you got, and then we should have to, as an American, I should have to translate your African tongue into English for me to properly understand you. Number one, you shouldn't be using English. Number two, you should be dressed as an African if you're going to speak about Black Americans. You shouldn't be sitting up there wearing a beater. You shouldn't have on a gold chain. You shouldn't be wearing the glasses. You shouldn't be sitting up there having the trim, fade, whatever, and all other type of stuff. It shouldn't be nothing. Everything should be African when I see you talk. But for whatever reason, y'all don't do that. That's for whatever reason I don't happen to see that. And why is that? You want to masquerade, you want to cosplay, you want to take up space, you want to try to be an invasive species, you want to try to be parasitic. And then while you're getting all of those things directly from the source, Black Americans, you want to masquerade and cosplay? Huh? And then you want to be disrespectful by sitting up there calling us a cotta? You want to call us cotton pickers? You want to call us slaves? Huh? That's crazy to me. That's diabolical in nature. Diabolical. But anyways, let's continue with the next one.
Comment always amazes me because I think there's an overreach, and I've always said this, there's an overreach because, okay, I've always said Black American music, yes, but what further than that has influenced the music industry but doesn't influence me? Like, I listen, but it doesn't influence me to do anything. doesn't influence me to read particular books, doesn't influence me to eat particular food, doesn't influence me to wear particular clothing, doesn't influence me to what cosmetics I use, it doesn't influence me to my political stand. Like, black Americans do not influence me. They have an influence on music, but that's pop culture. Like, what influence if you really believe you're influential?
Let me just explain, because she's looking pretty multicultural, as a lot of people would like to sit up there and say. Her influence is by the majority that is there, which is more than likely European. It doesn't matter if it's Australian or if she's over there in the UK, somewhere, somehow, it is European. That's what she does with her cosmetic. That's probably what she does with her hair. It's probably what she does with her clothing and her food. 9 times out of 10, that's normally how that works, especially with a lot of these folks out there that want to call themselves multicultural, or they look like this. Because I'm like, she's talking like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, who is your demographic? Like, who is your male audience? That's what I would have to really. I'm like, who is your male audience? Because I'm like, you're not talking to Black American men. And I'm pretty sure of whatever half of whatever half of whatever half of whatever half it is that you are, you're not even talking to that melanated demographic. Like I said, I'm paying attention to the mannerisms. I'm looking at the speech. I'm looking at the eye contact. I'm looking at the intent. I'm looking at the shots that are being thrown subtly. I'm looking at a variety of things of which that she is doing and how it is that she is trying to say. Again, she's trying to be nice with it, but again, this is a person that's trying to implement and say that Black Americans don't have a culture, right? They don't do this, they don't do that, and all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. For you as an individual, you saying that it doesn't affect you. That's cool. I'm not even sure why you made a video about it. But oh, wait, you made a video because somebody stated something in the comment section, which means that you pulled that from a previous video of what you did, where you more than likely said something about Black Americans of which you should not have said. That's usually how this works, because again, this is a, another social media post, TikTok or whatnot, whatever. And usually whenever people are responding to comments is from a previous video that they did. The previous video that she did, I'm not even sure what it was. I didn't even realistically care, just to sit up there and be honest. I don't in a lot of cases. I just don't. I just know that they had to say something disrespectful. They had to say something that didn't need to be said in order to have that comment warranted. In order for that comment to be there and for her to respond to it, she have had to say something first. Because, like I said, for the most part, us as Black Americans, we mind our business. We're not in everybody else's business. We don't, because in a sense, we don't care. And this is when a lot of people want to sit up there and say, like, oh, you Black Americans, or I'm sorry, because race is a construct and this, that, and the third. People try to say, oh, well, you Americans, you're just ignorant. You only care about yourselves and da da da, when there's other people in the world and more than just you. Again, why am I going to, in a sense, try to intervene or care about somebody else's business when it's your business? I, as a Black American, I can't stop the wars over there in your country. I can't stop this civil unrest that is going on in your. I can't do anything about anything over there in your country of which you are currently in at this moment in time. So it's not, in a sense, me as an American being ignorant or not caring. It's just I can't do anything about it. I'm going to mind my business. Now, when it gets to a global scale where it's like everybody is looking, all right, then that's a little bit different. Now it's everybody's business. But again, your business is your business. Whatever whatever things you got to sit up there and go through with your people, your government and stuff. Again, that is realistically your business up until it reaches like the world stage. Up until that point, it's like, yeah, we're not going to care. We're just not. That has nothing to do with not wanting to learn or being, not intelligent. It's just that we're going to deal with stuff that we got control or we could potentially actually fix or, help to move something forward. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. But, it'd be like that. Um, Dog, what are you talking about? Like, how is it that people keep bringing up BET? Do you not realize that Black Americans have known the people who originally started BET and then who the power was transferred to? I get tired of people trying to bring this up in conversations as if we don't know nothing. Like, y'all not telling us nothing. We've already known, like I said, before y'all even knew about BET, Essence, Jet, and a lot of these other things that we have, dog, we already knew who the original owners were versus who the owners are now. Like, are y'all stupid? Like, are y'all like 100% like stupid? Like, this is crazy to me. Just looking at some of the comments in the comment section. Just looking at the comments in the comment section. Dear sweet Lord. Somebody said, is that a good thing? I mean, other than entertainment, I can't think of a single thing that Black Americans' influence has improved. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, improved? Like, this is what I tend to happen to mention. Like, looking at this comment right here, if somebody wanted to learn about what has taken place and what Black Americans have influenced, like I said, look at the thousands of inventions that we got directly out there that we have some credit for, and the other ones that we don't have credit for, and probably will never ever get acknowledged up until somebody white basically goes through something and then they decide to sit up and say that they invented it. Like I said, take a look at the patent office. Take a look at why the patent office was created and how the patent office was used against Black Americans and how many Black Americans tried to be American and go through the legal way of the patent office and try to get their stuff patented only to have their ideas and their inventions stolen and claimed and pretty much never to be seen ever again. This is why I keep sitting up there saying that. This is how I can tell that a lot of people are immigrants, that a lot of people are not from here, because y'all keep regurgitating the exact same thing, talking about culture this. What culture do you actually have? What influences do you actually have? We don't see it. That's because you don't want to see it. You're not trying to see it. That's because you're not trying to sit up there and see it. We got another person that wants to sit up there and say about Black American culture, most influential, question mark, both positive and negative, if we're going to argue that. This is the thing. I love the fact that, and this is a showcase to a lot of other folks out there. Whenever it is that Black Americans want to speak positively about themselves, you'll always have other people out there that want to add their own side to it. It was like, oh, if you want to talk about the positive and talk about the negative side about, Black America, isn't that already talked about enough? Like I said before, what were the main three things I set up there and told y'all that people always want to talk about when it deals with Black Americans? Slavery, rap, crime. That's all they know. That's how ignorant the masses directly are. That's how brainwashed a lot of the masses are. Those are the main three things that they can sit up there and talk about. And what is the main thing out of those three that this guy wanted to sit up there and talk about? The negative, which means he's probably going to go towards the crime, which means he's going to look at all of the rap music that talks about shoot 'em up, bang bang, that talks about gangs and all this other type of stuff. But mind you, we got decades upon decades upon decades upon decades upon decades of jazz, of blues, of hip hop, of deaf poetry, which again they don't know nothing about. They don't know nothing about no deaf poetry jam and all that other type of stuff, right? Again, Black Americans. Um, and again, you got the other side of rap where people are intellectual, where they're speaking directly from the fiber. They're talking to the person or to the people, breaking down a lot of the negative things that people have been brainwashed with so that the positive can actually come forward. But like I said before, people like this don't understand that. They don't see that. They're not wanting to name that. They'll be like, well, if we're going to talk about influential, we got to pull a balance on this, because the Black music, it's there. But what about the negative? What about all the killings? A billion people died in Chicago just 5 seconds ago. Rah rah rah. That type of deal. It's crazy work. Diabolical. Brandon V. World again with the $5 no. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Said, somebody tell me if we're not the most influential, why do they come over here playing roles as Black American? Roles as Black American culture. Yeah, like I said, and shout out to Idris. Like I said, I like Idris as an actor, right? Black Superman, as they said in Shaw and Hobbs, right? Um, but again, I know him as Stringer Bell from what was it, like The Wire or whatnot or whatever. He played a Black American. A lot of these African immigrants and from elsewhere over in the UK, they come over here and they play us. I can't really give you Black actors who played somebody from the UK with an English accent. Like I can't really give you nobody. I think what was it that I found out? I think the man Jeffrey. I think he was actually from the UK. I think. Um, what was it? Let me look him up real quick. Jeffrey from Fresh Prince. Let me see. Jeffrey from Fresh Prince. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So his name is Joseph Marcel. Let me see. Okay, actually, I was incorrect. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what it was. So it says that is Jeffrey from the Fresh Prince of really British? It was like no. Um, or is it Joffrey? It might be Joffrey. Joffrey from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air is not British in the original series. His character is from St. Lucia and later becomes a British citizen. The actor who plays Joffrey, Joseph Marcel, is a St. Lucian born British actor who moved to London at the age of 9 and trained in England. So he does have British citizenship, but Joffrey's initial backstory is from St. Lucia, right? So the actual guy who played Jeffrey is Caribbean, but then went over to the UK or whatnot. Whatever. How it is that they basically explained it, but yeah. So like I said before, and there's many other characters. What was it like, Snowfall, and things of that nature? Like I said, there's a lot of those from the UK that come over to the States and they take up these roles. But again, I want to sit up there and showcase the fact that the reason that they can also get these roles is because in a lot of instances we've given up those roles because we're tired of portraying and always playing those roles. Like they always, it don't matter what movie it is, they always had a role for a random Black dude to be either a drug addict or to be a drug dealer or to be a pimp. Those are the main three roles they will make sure to always have in a lot of these films. And I'm like, so y'all don't have Black intellectuals, y'all don't have Black scholars, y'all don't have just like a Black head of the bank or somebody that's Black that's a head of housing, the neighborhood, or somewhere in government, somewhere that's a positive role. It always has to be like comedic. Something has to be questionable, or it always has to be stereotypical and negative every single time. And this is normally how it plays out in a lot of these films. So, like I said before, I'm not shocked and surprised. I'm not shocked and surprised when I see a lot of comments where people always want to try to talk about the negative when it deals with Black Americans. Like I said before, that's how negative a lot of people are. That's how ignorant a lot of people are. You know, and that's true. Shout out to John Doe. Muhammad Ali, he opposed, uh, the war when it dealt with the Vietnamese, and a lot of white Americans were angry. They were like, "Get him out of here, jail him, this, that, and the third." In America, listen, they sat up there and jailed Muhammad Ali. Was like, "Oh, you sitting up here doing this and doing that, and you also got the power to move the people. Oh, no problem. We're going to sit up there and throw you away real quick, and we're going to strip you directly of your belt." White America did that. I just want to make that very clear. So to any of these immigrants directly out there, whenever it is that y'all want to sit up there and speak on Black Americans and what it is that we have done, have not done, and all this other type of stuff, I want y'all to understand that y'all would never sit up there and be as vocal as we are in these United States against this government. Muhammad Ali lost years. He lost titles, right? He wasn't even, in a sense, the same person because he was away for so long. All because he stood up for what was right, and he was 1,000%. That's the one of the main reasons why they set up there and put him away, because he was right. The United States government knew that he was right, and they did not want the rest of the people waking up to the fact that he was right and the United States government was wrong. And we now know how wrong the United States government was for going over there and to try to start a war that was never supposed to be started to begin with. You didn't send soldiers, young boys, you didn't have that draft and everything that was happening on television. People were sacrificed for something that didn't even need to happen. And you know what America did? We're going to shut up this black man who's trying to sit up there and give correction, who's trying to sit up there and point out the fact that the United States government isn't right. And white people approved. So shout out to the white folks. Shout out to the other immigrants directly out there that always want to try to talk about black Americans not doing this and how it is that we never have the same energy that we have for them for the United States government. Y'all lie. Y'all have always been a lie. And this further proves that y'all ain't us. This proves that y'all ain't never been here. This proves that y'all ain't trying to learn nothing. This proves that y'all want to stay ignorant. And I mean ignorant when it deals in the totality of black Americans and all the things that we have done in order for y'all to sit up there and flourish. We are your fathers and your mothers. That's the best way to sit up there and put it. We're your fathers, mothers, and your great times 1,000. Because without us, you wouldn't be here. Like I said, the amount of disrespect that people want to sit up there and give is crazy. It is crazy. Theresa, I don't even know what that is. What, first of all, since you want to speak, what are you specifically? Culturally, ethnically, like what are you, white? Where are you from? Because it's crazy to me that people want to sit up there and state that black Americans have influenced the world to be ghetto. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you looking real stupid. Like I said, the anonymity online is baffling and it is crazy. It is 100% crazy. It is diabolical in nature. And that Theresa, Jesus Christ, that's an old school name. So you're old enough to actually know better. I've never met any woman of my timeline named Theresa. That is crazy. That is diabolical. Uh, that's like you try to combine like three with Aretha or something like that. I don't know what's happening there, but like I said, your mouth is crazily disrespectful when it deals with Black Americans. Who are you and where are you from? Who are your fathers? Let me know. Let us know. As a matter of fact, let me know. Let me know. Go look at Black American history, and you'll find everything that we have created and have improved your world. Yeah, shout out to Oracle 007. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I see you down there. Comment section. Let me see what else. Somebody else stating like nonsense. Like I said, a lot of y'all, I'm just going to sit up there and skip directly over your nonsense. Yeah, like I said, you'll be in the comment section, but nobody will ever know who you are. um, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. We're just going through the comments. Third Eye said, "I'm here for the trolls." Yeah, they in here today. They are in here deep today. They are in here today. Let me tell you something. Let me see what we got. I'm trying to get to the Theresa person because I'm like it's very interesting how people want to talk out the side of their mouths. But it's like, where you from? Yo, what's up, Tippy? I just saw you in here. me see. A lot of y'all was typing in here. Where's that Theresa person? I do not see them up here. That is diabolical. Let me. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try to pull back up to see when that comment was written. Oh wait, somebody got her out here. Oh wait a minute. Wait. I said somebody said poor Theresa. Uh-oh. Let me see. I'm trying to scroll down. I think yeah, we made it to the bottom. I do not see a Theresa. Again, I try to call people directly to the scene whenever it is that they want to decide to say something to highlight. I ain't gonna highlight a lot of y'all foolishness like I would normally do. Like I said, y'all be in the comment section. It's cool. Y'all be there. It'll be up to my moderators to get you on up out of here. We got all types of magic and trap cards prepared, so you can decide to play whatever it is that you want to play on the other side of the field, and you will be taken out real quick. it will be just like that. Let me tell you something. It will happen real quick. You won't even know it. Oh, wow! I ain't even know that. That's crazy. You said just a shout out for my boy Deshaun. Just found out he's in the last stages of renal disease. I didn't even know that. I did not even know that. Man, wait, let me see something real quick. Um oh man. Jesus Christ. I mean, because I'm looking up some stuff right quick. Because you said the last stages. Because I'm looking up. So, I mean, this is just by AI, so take it with a grain of salt. But they did say that the life expectancy with the end stage of renal disease or ESRD varies, but with treatments like dialysis or a kidney transplant, many patients can live for years or even decades rather than months. So, with that, I will have a positive outlook. I will have a positive outlook on how everything is going. Man, man, oh man. Yeah, I'm going to hit you up about that after the live stream. I'm going to hit you up about that after the live stream. Got you. James Harper, much love and appreciation. Shout out to the $5 dono. Said the only image people outside of the United States have of us is the image of TV and movies, just like they have an African looking like a refugee or leeches. Yeah, yep, that is bars. That is bars 100%. 100%. But now let's continue on to the next. Let me see which one. Because I think I got three left on the bottom. I'll save that other one for last, right? So now let's take a look. Okay, he says he's been going to dialysis for, you said, 3 times a week, and he was in the hospital for 2 months. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Okay, I got you. All right, let's Continue with the next video.
Old is these celebrities trying to downplay the Black culture, hip hop, R&B, what we make, what we stand for, who we are, what we represent, and the fact that we influence every other fucking country in this fucking world. Black Americans, the culture we've created in the midst of extreme cellular and physical, spiritual, mental, emotional oppression, has influenced every sector of entertainment, every industry in this entire fucking world. The teacher is never concerned with being in competition with the student. The teacher just creates and teaches. Only the students, only the arrogant student that is still looking for identity, looking for exception, looking for respect, challenges the teacher.
Right. And it's crazy, like, wait, what was that? Somebody said, you have not influenced anything in Mexico. Do y'all not have Mexican rappers? What are we talking about? Excuse me? Excuse me? Huh? Do y'all not have Mexican rap artists? Do you not have Mexicans that are in hip hop? What are we talking about here? What are we specifically? I didn't heard too many Mexicans sitting up there rapping and on some beats. It don't matter if it's in Spanish or if it's in Spanish, in Spanglish, or whatever it is. Like, brother, what are you smoking directly on at this moment in time? Are you kidding me right now? I done seen Mexicans with like fades and seasons and lineups and everything of that sort. Like, dog, when I grew up and I went to school with a few Mexicans, like I said, if anybody is born and raised in Detroit, you know, down there by Lord have mercy, I'm trying to by Tiger Stadium, there was a Catholic school. Well, some of y'all might know about it. It should have been not Most Holy Trinity, not St. Mary's. Was it? No. Wasn't it? I think it should have been like Most Holy Trinity. I think it should have been because when I went to that school, they were the reason that I went to my first Tigers game because we were literally right down the block and we didn't take a bus to get there. We walked there. I remember walking with my teacher in my class to go to our very first Tigers game, and it was cold that day too. We had to have our jackets, we had to have permission slips, and all of that thing and all of that stuff in order to potentially get food and all the other type of stuff that you normally need. Um, when I sat up there and went directly to that school, the Mexican kids weren't sitting up there doing like lineups and fades and stuff like that. It was it was like the typical Mexican hairstyle that you would always see on the little boys and stuff of that nature at that time. I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? Even like the ways of which you got people sitting up there styling and wearing certain things. I'm like, dog, that is us. Like, what are we talking about here? Like that is so crazy. And we got in a sense like a Mexican town, as we call it, down there in Detroit. That's where, me and my family, if we wanted some, some Mexican food, we would go, directly down there in Mexican town, hit up some food. If you wanted some Middle Eastern food, right? You would either go up to Dearborn or there's like some places above Detroit that's like borderline Dearborn, Detroit, where the Arabs, reside and they got like this stuff there too. So like I said, it's a little bit crazy to me how people want to sit up there and say that we don't influence other people directly out here. Like you're just blind to it. You want to be blind, specifically. And I did sit up there and I do have a video somewhere up there about lowriders and different things of that nature because I saw somebody mention in the comment section. You can also delve and go directly into a lot of the things, a lot of those things too. But because I think didn't I sit up there and pull out a picture of I forgot. I gotta. Oh man, it's probably on the other hard drive. But it's some stuff out there. There is some stuff out there. There are some other documentaries and things of that nature. I think I just saw somebody in the comment section telling me to let the woman talk in the video we did. It was a short video. It's probably about less than a minute. Oh, my bad. Sister B said, "Speak, sister." Okay, I got you. My bad. I misread. That was my apologies. My apologies. Yo, what is up, Gail? What is up, Gail? Gail said, "Listen and you will hear." Um, somebody said, "What Black American? Wait, what did Black American culture influence the world in one way or another?" Again, as I've stated, we can go, let's look at the word culture, the art or the other manifestations of human intellectual achievements regarded collectively. So again, we can go to arts and talk about hip hop. Again, we can go to inventions in America that Black Americans have either created or contributed to, and how those inventions are used all around the planet. For anybody looking for examples, I'm going to tell you to look it up yourself, because I ain't about to sit up there and hand feed you everything, because I done did this too many times. I used to do videos. Before I would do videos, I would give people Black inventors, and then I would go into the video. So miss me with all of that. I'm not doing that here, because I already did it before. So you better play catch up. Better play catch up. Or like I said, I'll make a solo video when I want to sit up there and do it. Other than that, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. But anyways, let's go back to the word culture. Don't I still got it up here? Let's go directly up here. It says the art or other manifestations or human intellectual achievements regarded collectively. Number two, the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. Like I said before, Black Americans have stated what it is that we contribute to, what it is that we have created, what it is that we have invented, and what it is that the world gets from that, and how the world uses it. That's one of the greatest American exports that we have at this moment in time, which is our music. For other people not to sit up there and see it, you are so blind. Like I said, a lot of these white clothing lines would not have moved without Black influence. Like I said, you had certain subsets of like rich people sitting up there buying the stuff. All right, that's cool. But in order for them to really get the money that they got and not just go bankrupt, guess what? Black people sat up there soft was like, oh, we we can sit up there and afford this. Like, we're rappers and whatnot. Like, all right, we're going to consider this gear and call it whatnot or whatever. And then we're just going to wear it, put it on. And here we go. This is how Reebok got on. This is how Nike got on. This is how Ralph Lauren got on. This is how Versace got on. Medusa, right? And a lot of these other things. What was the phone that they used to sit up there and use? Um was it a Blueberry or something like that? I forgot. It was one of the phones that people, like I said, this is how the culture, people will shift cultures, right? Case in point, at the moment in time where Jay-Z said auto tune was dead, right? Shout out to T-Pain, because T-Pain doesn't even need auto tune. But at the moment in time he said auto tune was dead, what's that out there culturally? What happened in music when it dealt with that and everywhere else? People stopped using auto tune. When Jay-Z sat up there was like, yo, we don't rock jerseys and all this other type of stuff, people don't even understand that one of the head people of the NBA wanted to call down a sit down conversation with Jay-Z after he said, like, yo, we don't wear jerseys no more, because that was going to have a negative effect. It was going to have a backlash on the NBA, because primarily when you think about a jersey culture, that is Black Americans. Like I said, especially, let's just go back to circa 2000s. Like I said, some of y'all probably wasn't even around. Y'all don't even know nothing about that. Y'all probably just got here. Black Americans, primarily, out of all of these cultures out here, we ain't saying that other people weren't wearing jerseys. That's cool. Y'all wear them just because whatever. We wear them and we style them. We tailor them to how it is that we want them to appear. Like I said, we had backwards jerseys. Bro, we were sitting up there. Those were flying off the shelves. Those bad boys were so nice in how it is that we were pushing that they were selling them at your local convenience stores, corner stores. It was at strip malls. It was everywhere, right? Again, culturally, When black people sat up there and said, like, yo, we about to be wearing like, the white tees, blue tees, brown tees, pink tees. Nobody else was doing it. Everybody else could sit up and say, oh yeah, we were already wearing like those tees, but you weren't actually wearing them. It's a difference between you just wearing them because, all right, they're clothes versus making it a cultural statement. And it didn't even just fly directly from just here. It went from literally black Americans doing this as a thing to other people mimicking. Like I said, I remember in the 2000s, you had white boys in over there in Europe sitting up there getting cornrows. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, how are you getting cornrows? I mean, they also got that probably because of like Justin Timberlake, but Justin Timberlake got that from us. But like I said before, it all goes right back to the source. But like I said before, you got white boys over there in Europe that was getting cornrows. They were sitting up there like wearing chains. They were trying to do like, gold tooth here or like grills. They sitting up there bringing out, the earrings on both sides. I'm like, dog, all of this is black American culture. That is the influence. That is the culture that we be talking about. That is the influence. Like that just shifts all over. And not only does that culture shift, but also money moves with it. And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of these people tend to miss when they want to talk about the influence and the culture and what it is and da 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 da. Like, dog, it is very important. Nobody is moving stuff out here like black Americans. No other culture out here, just to be real. Just to be real. No, when it deals with like, let's say like clothing, when it deals with these clothing businesses and these industries, ain't nobody having a real effect like that, like us. Like I said, and people don't even understand it. Shout out to Dapper Dan. Shout out to that man. Because that's one of the originators right there. And if you don't know about Dapper Dan, go sit up there and do your research real quick. Go learn about him. Go see what he was doing in like the 70s and the 80s and how he was tailoring and doing stuff with street blending streetwear with rich, I don't even know what you would call it, with rich, where how he was blending and meshing that and how that formulated into something else that became a part of the hip hop and the rap scene and the culture that we have right now. Like I said, people don't even understand. People don't even understand. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Dolce. It was Dolce. It was Blackberry. Thank you. Thank you. I think I said blueberry. But yeah, when the whole thing with Blackberry was wait, let me see. Yeah, when the whole thing with Blackberry was happening, I remember that because everybody had the normal phones, and then Jay Z was like, businessmen or real men that's about their business. We use Blackberries, and then you had a whole shift where I literally saw students trying to pull up to the scene with Blackberry. I'm like, dog, what are y'all doing? I'm like, dog, a phone is a phone. I'm like, it's not going to make a difference, but like I said before, this is the perception and how when somebody's in control of that, when they're at like a certain level, they can shift a lot of things. So because he made that point of view and he stated that point of view and he worked within that action and showcased that action, other people followed that. So with that, money also followed. So you had an influx of money that was now going to the BlackBerry company because now you got all of these new people that's coming in to buy these phones because one person said this. Like I said, this is in a sense why a lot of people want a type of control over black culture because they understand the power, they understand what it means. Because if you can happen to get a hold of that, then you can control and you can move many different industries. Because people don't even understand. Like I said, if Kendrick Lamar right now decided to wear a certain type of like attire, let's say from like an unknown stylist or something like that, an unknown black fashion designer somewhere like out there in Oakland or something like that. Nobody knew nothing about him. Overnight, that dude would become a millionaire. Money would fluctuate directly to that person because of Kendrick Lamar's name and image attached to what that person is wearing. And people will now associate those clothes every single time they see those clothes, they associate with Kendrick Lamar. So it's like, yo, I idolize or like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is a popular artist, whatnot, or whatever. if I buy these clothes, that means that I'm in the same line or the same light or alignment with Kendrick Lamar, so I'm closer to him by that way. Money starts fluctuating. The same thing when we used to have G-Shock watches. And I used to see people rolling around with those. And I didn't even know what a G-Shock was during the time. And then I understand how expensive those watches were during that time. And I'm like, y'all really wearing those? I'm like, brother. I'm like, y'all, nah, I'm good. I'm like, the watches look cool. I'm like, all right, whatever, but no, I'm good. And then it upgraded from like a normal G-Shock to a bust down G-Shock, where it was like it was fully modified and customized, just like quote unquote blinged out, right? Had a whole bunch of diamonds and everything on it. It was like a disco ball, right? Crazy stuff. Diabolical. But you know, it'd be like that. It's whatever it is. Now you're just trolling. You said is curly hair a black hairstyle, you know, a generic thing, right? What are you even like? This is what I hate when people are trying to act like they're trying to be serious, but you just on some troll type of stuff, trying to use like some rage bait. I'm like, who said that? Now, if you want to sit up there and talk about the way of which Black Americans style their hair with the different types of hairstyles, yeah, that's us. Because, like I said, I remember points in times that white boys cared about their hair. The only times that white boys actually cut their hair is either if they had a military father or if they were in the military and they were conditioned to just have their hair like that. Normally, white boys would normally have hair to a certain length. Now you got white boys just walking out here. It's like, yo, I'm living in the future. I'm just going to do the whole bald thing, even though I can grow a full head of hair. Or I'm just going to sit up and have like a fade or a Caesar with like a lineup, and I'm going to have designs. And white boys do not naturally normally have designs in their hair. The only white boys out here that would really do something different were the punk rock and the emo. Out of all of the white boys out there, those are primarily the only ones that would do something radically different with their hair. The only types. Every other white boy wasn't doing that. They looked at those white boys as weird. They would clown them. They would make fun of them. They would pick on them. So, yes, if we're going to be talking about types of hairstylings, right, that Black Americans normally sit up there and do, yeah, that's us. Culturally, you don't normally sit up there and do those things. We know these things. It's obviously apparent, right? Like I said, that's all I'm talking about. You want to sit up there and talk about some curly hair, you got it. Whatever it is. Like I said, culturally, I can sit up there and say I've never gotten lice. I've never gotten lice. And normally, when a lice outbreak has happened in a school, it was only by one demographic, and they weren't black. But nobody wants to talk about that though. Nobody wants to say that culturally that is just the thing for a certain culture. Like I said, I ain't never gotten it. I ain't never gotten it. And I've only seen my schools shut down when a certain demographic shows up there and they happen to have lice. And now the whole school got to get sprayed down. Color me surprised. Like I said, don't rush to claim it. Don't all rush me down and bang down doors and try to sit up there and claim that culturally or whatnot, whatever you want to sit up there and call it. You know, it's cool. It's you know, it's all cool. It's, you know. Uh-oh, I think I hit a nerve. I think I hit a nerve. Somebody, nobody wants to talk about what blacks spread. I mean, nobody wants to talk about what y'all make in biolabs. How about that one? Oops. Oops. Do we want to sit up there and go tit for tat? I don't think you want to do that, buddy. I don't think you want to do that, my friend. Um, let me see. So since we want to talk about what people like to spread and what people like to sit up there and do, no problem. I got you. I got you, my friend. Let me just give you something real quick so you can just digest that, right? And on top of all of the other filth that you eat. I got you, no problem. Here we go. We got all the information directly up there, right? Since you want to pull up to the scene talking about what black people spread, right? I got you. No problem. Because I know you might be in the Appalachians somewhere. Um, they said unethical and racist government backed experiments. Let me repeat that one more time. Unethical and racist government backed experiments. Let me repeat that one more time. Unethical and racist government backed experiments. Now, when we look at that one statement, who would that entail? Because we know that black people are not the face. We're not the power when it deals with the government structure, how it is that it is created and who it was created for. And who it is that they protect. We know that that is not Black Americans, correct? So it can only be one demographic. The unethical and racist government backed experiments on Black communities have long and documented history in the United States, with the infamous Tuskegee syphilis study being the most well known example. These and other instances of medical abuse have caused lasting damage and deep seated mistrust of the medical system among many Black Americans. Now, who also is the face of the medical system? Because it's not us, obviously, right? We're not the ones that were sitting up there giving, ourselves syphilis, right? We wouldn't sit up there and do that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can actually do something real quick because people, want to be funny when it deals with certain things, right? Let me see what this is, right? Somebody tell me who is experimenting on who in this image real quick, right? Let me know who is experimenting on who in this image real quick. Somebody let me know. What was that, Mitch? Mitch. For anybody else directly in here, when y'all want to sit up there and try to say something negative specifically about Black Americans, let me know in this old picture who is experimenting on who. Is it the Black man that's trying to experiment on the white man, or is it the white man experimenting on the Black man? Let me know. Let me know who's doing that experimentation, because it's a little bit odd and weird when y'all always want to pull up to the scene and y'all want to say something, but y'all never want to acknowledge the things, your transgressions. You never want to admit the faults of anything that you did wrong. Y'all always want to pull up to the scene and y'all want to try to move the goalposts. Y'all want to try to point the finger directly at Black Americans. Look at this. Look at what y'all sit up there and do. Look at this. Look at that. All these other types of things. Yada yada yada. I'm like, this is some crazy work. And I'm like, we're looking at the same images. It is happening to multitudes of Black folks directly up out yonder. And I'm like, I wonder how they were able to get this money and be able to do. Oh, that's right. They sat up there and told us all of these things were government backed. Black people didn't sit up there and back any of these things. And then, of course, we're probably going to have, because I can't see it right now because I'm putting together this image. I'm pretty sure we got somebody in the background trying to do the classic where it's like, oh, you guys always want to portray yourselves as victims. This is not a portrayal. And this is not even that long ago. So, like I said, you just gotta kindly shut up. That's realistically at this moment in time, that's all you can sit up there and do, because you don't really got nothing else different to add. Because there's nothing else really that you can sit up there and say, or really try to tell anybody. Like, you really can't. Like I said, it's crazy to me that y'all will do all of this type of crime, and then you got the nerve and the audacity and the gall to pull directly up on Black folks and to try to make it seem like we are the worst of the worst to ever exist on this planet. Y'all do a very good job at trying to, weave some tall tales and to say this and to say that and all this other type of stuff. And they are also doing a very good job in moving the goalposts. We're like, you're talking about what about the crime in Chicago? Trillions of people just sat up there and died in 5 seconds. Right? Numbers just keep moving. Just keep going every single time, y'all talk about any black area around the United States. Matter of fact, this is a better picture. This is a better picture. Whole better picture. And this is clearly showing the facts of how black people have always been looked at and deemed and treated. In order to, in a sense, call or in order to put something in the way to stop the population from growing, they did a variety of experiments in order to do it, in order to stagnate it, right? And in order to keep the population at this is a type of form of population control, just in case if people don't understand this, because I'm pretty sure a lot of Africans, y'all know some a little bit about this because y'all, had a little bit of something happening, but then y'all still allow people to come directly in there and to still give y'all stuff. So y'all don't know nothing about this realistically. For black Americans, this is our history. This is what we know. This is what they don't, in a sense, really want to teach in American schools because they want to try to make it seem as though that we're past this. And I bring this up continuously because white people got to understand that whatever they did here or whatever they were trying to perfect or did perfect, oh, best believe, white folks, it is coming directly for you. So again, for all of you trolls directly in the comment section that want to say this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff, I want you to know that every single thing that you're seeing right now that happened in the past is going to happen to you in the present. I was actually gonna list something. I was gonna say something, but YouTube, I can't really, say much. Some people know what I was going to refer to because they've been on this channel. They've been on this channel long enough. But like I said, stuff happens in 4K. It happens directly in front of you. And it'd be like that. The same things that you see in the past will happen directly in the present. And like I said, again, to a lot of those white folks sitting in the background that are paying attention, listen to my voice right now as I'm talking to you, you may know exactly what it is that I'm referring to or talking about at your core. Regardless of you disagreeing with me or not, you already know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. You know exactly in your core, in the fiber of your being, what your government can do and will do. But like I said, hey, it's on y'all. It is directly on y'all. You sound like somebody who is not even American. Like the craziest part is like I would be like the way that you just put that together, I would think that you are somebody like circa from like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Like the way that you're basically speaking. That's like some foreign exchange student, type of stuff. That just you came from Germany, you came to the United States. Right? And you're seeing everything that's going on here and you wanted to, state this, but you're not trying to, delve deep and get the understanding of how interwoven that all of this directly is. Right? You're looking at medical malpractice. You're looking at the fusion of the United States government with United States medicine affecting a demographic directly out here. And it's not even just a Tuskegee experiment. Again, I gave you guys it was an article before about some black Americans down south that were part of a documentary where it talked about the United States government wanting to put certain types of I guess you could say aerosols right directly in the air in black towns in order to see or experiment on the people of what a chemical attack would look like from an outside source so that they can prepare. They always do this in black cities and towns. They've always done it. They're not going to specifically primarily do this in white cities and towns because they don't want to do this to themselves. So they're going to do this to the groups of people that they feel are less than and are expendable. Like I said, it's crazy. It is diabolical. Oh, somebody said it was BS. I guess. I guess. I guess it is BS, right? Like I said, it's crazy. You know, the funny part is it's crazy when you can actually give somebody information and they still want to say that the information is BS. I'm like, so we're just not going to pay attention to none of the information. We're not even going to look at it. We're not even going to try to read it. That's crazy. So let me just sit up there and read a little bit more because I did not specifically go over it. Right. They said the Tuskegee syphilis study, 1932 through 1972, one of the most notorious human research projects in United States history. The study observed the natural progression of untreated syphilis in poor Black men in rural Alabama. Researchers from the United States received effective treatment even after penicillin became widely available in 1947. As a result, many men died of syphilis related complications, and the disease was transmitted to their partners and their children. So, like I said before, not only were they giving this specifically to Black men on purpose, they were giving this to the Black women and the kids. But like the person said, it's BS. Let's go to one of the God of Gods, Miss Henrietta Lack and her Hella Cells, 1951. While not a government experiment, the story of Henrietta Lacks, a Black woman whose cancer cells were taken without her or her family's consent, illustrates a history of medical injustice. The immortal Hella Cell line derived from her cells led to numerous scientific breakthroughs and commercial profits while her family remained unaware and uncompensated for decades. Her case brought widespread attention to informed consent of patients' right and research. So again, to any of the Europeans, to the white American stuff of that nature, y'all better thank this woman for your bloodlines to even still exist, because if it wasn't for her existence, a lot of the medicine that y'all use currently at this moment in time by way of her cells and primarily and only her cells, you wouldn't have. And even with this information still being out here, I promise you they cloned her cells and they're still using her cells at this moment in time for medicine. But a lot of people out there say, oh, well, it's for the greater good. It shouldn't really matter. This, that, and so it's fine for somebody's DNA to be stolen and taken from them and to be cloned and used and for other people to market and make money off of. But then the family gets what? No recognition. They don't get no highlights. You're not going to sit up there and list Henrietta Miss Lax directly on all the medications directly out there, nor are you going to compensate the families. Like I said before, miss me with all of that stuff, man. Miss me with all that. Miss me with all of that. Another one, we got mustard gas testing on Black soldiers, 1940s. During World War II, the United States military conducted secret chemical weapons experiments that were explicitly race-based. Let me repeat that one more time. 1940s, during World War II, the United States military conducted secret chemical weapon experiments that were explicitly race-based. Let me just repeat that one more time for the people in the back that always say that, oh, Black people, why are you guys always focused on race? Why are you always trying to say white people this and white people that? And oh, that was billions of years ago. 1940s. During World War II, the United States military conducted secret chemical weapon experiments that were explicitly race based. Black and other minority soldiers were exposed to chemical agents like mustard gas in sealed chambers to test the effects on Black skin. Let me repeat that one more time. Black and other minority soldiers were exposed to chemical agents like mustard gas in sealed chambers to test the effects on Black skin. They didn't test it on Asian skin, on Arab skin, on Latin skin, on white skin. They tested it on Black skin. The soldiers were not given a choice, and many suffered severe, debilitating injuries. Ooh, so much for people talking about Black people being racist, and why is everything so race based and this that and the third. Crazy. Let's go to another one I never heard of: the Holmesburg prison experiments, 1950s through 1970s. For decades, right? um Dermatology and other medical experiments were conducted on prison inmates in Philadelphia, most of whom were black men. Experiments such as testing skin blistering chemicals and doxin were often performed for private and university research. In 2002, Philadelphia formally apologized for these abuses. Another one, forced sterilizations, the 20th century. As part of a state eugenics program, thousands of black women were coercively or forcibly sterilized under the guise of medical care. The practice was so common in the United States South that it was often called a Mississippi appendectomy, and civil rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer was a victim of non-consensual hysterectomy. Then later on, they got the lasting impacts and the ethical reforms dealing with a lot of those processes and different things of that nature. So, like I said before, it's crazy to me that when a lot of folks want to pull up to the scene and they want to say that, oh, black people, why are you guys so worried about race? Why is it always black this and white this? I just literally read off to you, and this is just a few out of the hundreds of thousands that have taken place in the United States, specifically to the black community. And this is why I also reiterate that every single time for the white folks out there, when y'all want to ignore, when you want to, try to say that, oh, get away from the race, you guys are too woke and all this other type of stuff, everything that I'm going over right now is going to happen directly to you. Everything that the United States government did to black Americans, they did it because they wanted to perfect it. They could not do it to you because you are not strong enough. Let me just make that very clear. And I know that that's going to be very hard to handle for a lot of you folks directly out there because you think that you are the masters of the universe. You think that you are He-Man to the 10th power. The United States government, number one, was not going to conduct these experiments on you because number one, you're not strong enough to actually endure it and to take it. And then number two, they're not going to do this, to their own people because they know that there's going to be an outcry. And number three, it's going to bring too much attention and too much awareness. Those are the main three reasons why the United States government and local government agencies would never sit up there medically do or militarily do these types of things to you consistently. Now, have I covered that there have been experiments on white folks? Yes, but few far and in between. Again, I listed three main reasons, in my opinion, of which they're not going to primarily do this to white people. Number one, y'all ain't strong enough to sit up there and deal with this. Number two, they're trying to do this or do this to black Americans because we can, quote unquote, endure. And then this is a way for them to perfect it. Because if it works on us, oh, it's going to for sure work on everybody else. So, like I said, y'all ain't going to understand it up until you're meant to understand it. So, again, historically speaking, whatever the United States has done to black Americans as a whole historically, and again, this is another reason why they're trying to erase, why they're trying to get a lot of this stuff out of the history books, because they're trying to make sure that their own people are proud in their own ignorance. You already had a United States sitting president that spoke directly on how easy it is to brainwash or tell white folks one thing, right? How easy it is to basically rob their pockets and all this other type of stuff. It's not that difficult. All you need is a white face directly up there saying the things that they want to hear, saying the things that they like to hear, and white people, y'all just going to fluctuate directly to that person. Oh, he's one of us. He's our savior, this, that, and the third. And y'all are going to usher in and let whatever it is to happen. Case in point, let's go back to the Patriot Act. I keep saying this during a variety of live streams. White people, y'all allowed that to take place because y'all had George W. Bush Jr. in office because y'all are the same ones that voted George W. Bush Sr. into office previously. And he's the one that sat up there and told you that, it's a new world order that's coming in, that's being ushered in. It's no longer the rule of jungle or nature or however it is that they want to sit up there and put it. So like I said, he just told you we're moving away from the rules of God and we're going with the rules of man. Color me surprised. But y'all don't even pay attention. That's some crazy work. No, I got you. Brandon Burrell, shout out for the $5 dono. Said that, hey, Seiji, I hope you don't mind. I just wanted to put up Deshaun's Cash App to help him out with any medical expenses. So that is Deshaun's Cash App directly up there. If anybody would like to, sit up there and donate. Matter of fact, I would sit up there and say, I'm not sure how they would do it. I would say that he should probably set up like a GoFundMe. That would probably be another good way to explain it as well too. To get the information, directly out there and have the whole story and everything of everything of the sort. So that'll be another good way to, do that as well. Um, what was it? What else that we got directly up here? I'm just trying to scroll directly through the comment sections here. Somebody said wasn't alive in 1940s. I don't care if you were. I had my grandmother. She was around during that time. Right, my grandmother was born in what was it, like 19? Should have been 1938 or whatnot or whatever. So yeah, like I said before, I might not have been there, but I got grandparents that were around during that time, or they're around during that years of all of these experimentations happening. Like I said, mom was old enough to be around when some of these experiments were still going down in the 60s and the 70s. So, like I said, miss me with any of that. I don't even care. Like I said, you want I wasn't there in the 1940s. That's cool, but you got parents that were around in the 60s and 70s though. Ooh, color me surprised. You got family members that were around in the 60s and 70s. You got neighbors that were around in the 60s. Like I said before, miss me with all that nonsense, dog. Somebody said, "Where are the sources?" What are you talking about? What wh- what are you even talking about at this moment in time? Where are the Did you not just hear this be read directly off? But you're talking about where are the sources? Okay, this is what you do. Go look it up and go get books. They got books on Amazon and everything else about a lot of these things going on. How about that one? How about that one? Because I have the funniest thing is I have a pictorial book where it deals with the atrocities that took place to Black Americans. I can't show that in a sense, but I can show it off on YouTube. I would have to do it the way that I did before. And I did that years ago. Um, but I could sit up there and actually do that. Like I said, I got a few books. I got a few things directly out there that have varieties of information on a lot of atrocities that took place, burning downs of cities and towns and all other types of things. But it's crazy to me how people are on computers, tablets, or devices where you can split screen and you're talking about where are the sources. Type in the information that is directly in front of you. Type in the Tuskegee. Like, it's crazy. Type in the Tuskegee experiment. Like, brother, like, I think we even had the point of the United States government admitting to what it is that they did, coming out and admitting. Like, it's a little bit weird to me how people always want to ask for sources, but they never want to look for sources themselves. When you got some information directly in front of people that they can just type in, you could type in Henrietta Lacks. You could type in Tuskegee experiment. You could type in what is it? Mustard gas testing on Black soldiers. You can type in what is that? The Holmesburg prison experiments. And many. You can type all that stuff in. You can literally type it in as you see it directly on screen. You could take a snapshot of the screen directly in front of you, and then you can from that decide to just type it in and look at the information for yourself. You talking about you're looking for the sources so that you can look up the validity of all of the things direct. Go up there and do it yourself. Go up there 100% and do it yourself. But like I said before, irregardless on how people don't want to acknowledge the things that have taken place, that have gone directly on. I want y'all to understand every single thing that I read off and I told you for white people out there, all of this is going to happen to you, and it's not going to be because of Black people. We were used in the experiments in order to perfect these things so that they know that it works on everybody and it won't miss. But all of these things that happen here, they're going to happen to you one way or another. And it's going to be by the government that you voted for. It's going to be by the government that looks just like you. So, like I said before, all of y'all out here that always talk about what's that dude's name, Tucker Carlson, where he wanted to say something stupid online, talking about, oh, whites have been really treated so poorly, so unfairly, and there's going to be an uprising that's going to happen, but it's not going to be the way that people think. Yo, Tucker, I want you to understand, for you and your other white constituents, that everything that's going to take place if and when America falls is going to fall at the hands of people that looks just like Tucker Carlson. It's not going to fall because of Black Americans. I want everybody to understand that. I want everybody to be crystal clear directly on that. Primarily out of the whole states, the only ones that have the utmost weapons and armaments, bar none, are white people in the United States. Nobody else comes close. No other immigrants, no other groups comes close to white folks when it deals with having machine guns, artillery, AR-15s, pistols, bullets, all of this stuff. They got all of that. Armored vehicles, armored trucks, they got all of that. So like I said before, the moment in time the country falls, it is going to be on them. It ain't going to have nothing to do with Black Americans. It's crazy. That is 100% diabolical. Let me tell you. Let me see. I'm trying to sit up there and see what else we got directly down here. Auntie Punchy, what is up? What is up? What is up? You said that I had great uncles who died from the Tuskegee syphilis experiments. Man, that's tough. That is tough. Let me go back. I had let me put that right. Let me put that right back up there because I had misclicked directly off of that because the comment put Deshaun's Cash App directly back up there. Bruce said many of them are starting to realize it now. Yeah, not enough. Somebody said victimhood mentality. Yo, like I said, this is why I don't really be worried and concerned of what's going to really happen to white folks out here. Because I'm like, it is what it is. Y'all enable it. It's going to happen, and I ain't trying to hear y'all cry about it when it happens. Like I said, it is what it is. This is the era of Rorschach. It be like that. Like I said, there's going to be a moment in time where you're going to sit up there and see people crying in the streets and all this other type of stuff. Oh, we need to come together. This, that, and the third. Hey, I just going to have to look from the rooftops as everything is burning and sit up there and whisper no. Because this is what y'all wanted. And like I said, for a lot of white folks out there, y'all ain't going to realize what's happening up until it hits your doorstep. It's already late. It's already too late. It's going to affect you, your families, your dog, everybody. It's going to be over. And when it deals with your communities, you're going to see your people turn into straight savages. You're going to see them robbing and pillaging, doing the same things again that they did to the Black communities throughout the United States. When we created our own and segregated, the same things that y'all decided to do, they're going to be doing that in all of those suburbs, all of those cul-de-sacs, all of those. Oh, we're in a nice community. Crime like that never happens. All right, no problem. Let the power go out and let starvation settle in. We'll see if your neighbors are still your neighbors or if they show you the true murderous intent. Shout out to Akuma. You'll sit up there and see. Because the craziest thing is a lot of y'all in those suburbs and those communities that are far removed from the cities, y'all didn't arm yourselves because of Black people. You armed yourselves to protect yourselves from yourselves. And that's the thing that y'all really don't even want to talk about because y'all know what's going to sit up there and happen when everything falls down. You know at the core what is going to happen and how your people are going to look at you and how you are going to look at your people. But like I said, it be like that though. Y'all got it. You got it. I still don't see the one person that sat up there and wrote that comment up there. Somebody said, Annette Caroline said that's not true. The cartels have plenty, a lot, and stop making everything about race. That's why nobody ever gets along. Start praying and recognize. And I just wonder why most black talking. What? Hold on. Jesus Christ. Let me, because I'm not trying to sit up there and take down the Cash App again. Let me just take a picture of this and then post this. Because when y'all be sitting up there, when y'all type some stuff, do y'all really sit there and think about the stuff that y'all type? Do y'all really just like sit there and be like, yo, this is a good look? Like word? Because I want people to see what it is that I'm looking at. See how I just literally explained? This person wanted to sit up and say, like, oh, black people, y'all need to stop focusing on race. But yeah, I just gave information talking about how the United States government, the medical industry, and many others focus specifically on race in order to experiment on black people because of either for their bodies or for their skin or whatnot or whatever. But yet the same ones always show up like, oh, why are you guys always focused on race? Brother, you got to be, you have to be AI. You have to be AI. I swear to goodness. You can't be that stupid. You cannot be that stupid. And I literally just told you everything that happened to black Americans historically that you want to be ignorant of, that you want to say don't focus on race, no problem. When it happens to the rest of the other parts of America, you got it. Don't call us. Don't leave a voicemail. Don't leave an email. Don't go by carrier pigeon. Don't hook up 2 tin cans in a string. Don't say nothing to us. Don't say nothing to us. Just cry directly online like y'all normally do. Just like when the economy is, falling down and y'all losing jobs and whatnot because of whatever happened with the government. Yeah. How y'all crying there and begging and pleading? Yeah, make sure y'all keep doing it. Don't aim this directly at black people and say that this affects all of us. No, no, no. Black people have been affected by a lot of things. And we're going to continue to be affected. The only difference is we will move with the punches one way or another. Because y'all told us not to sit up there and blame nobody. All right, cool. So we want to shut up. So now when we shut up and then something is actually happening, y'all want us to start speaking and highlighting and working together. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's crazy work. Diabolical. Somebody said on poor people of all colors. Let me just sit up there and be real. Let me just sit up there and be honest, and people can sit up there and take it how it is that they want to sit up there and take it. I, as a person that have tried to notify and tell peoples of all different nationalities, colors, and religions of all the things to come, I've watched idly by as representatives of your factions and whatnot or whatever have sat there and told me to shut up. Sat there and told me to stop looking at and focusing on race, stop focusing in on skin color. Basically, again, to shut up. And I'm like, cool, you got it. So at this point in time, I don't care what any of the race is going to get or what's going to happen to them. I don't care if they're poor, mid class, or rich. I do not care. I can only sit up there and fixate and focus on Black Americans because all of your demographics, all of your peoples directly out there, all of your representatives have come to my channel one way or another, time and time again, past, present, or they're still going to be popping up in the future, and they're going to tell me to shut up. They're going to tell me to stay quiet. They're going to call me a racist. They're going to list everything up there in order to, make sure that I don't speak or say the message that I'm supposed to sit up there and say. I'm like, y'all got it. So, like I said, for the other demographics that are going to have to suffer through any of the things that's going to happen by way of these governments, it is what it is. That's on y'all. Y'all figure it out. Y'all say that y'all got a culture. Y'all say y'all got traditions. Y'all say that y'all are the real fighters directly out here, that you are an insurmountable force. Y'all got it. Put all of that talk, put all of that mouth that y'all been doing on these social media streets to work as soon as everything falls apart. I expect to see that same community. I expect not to see no internal fighting. I expect to see no internal savagery. I expect it to be like a kumbaya type of thing, and everybody is like living in paradise or somewhat, without the necessities like a market and electricity and some clean running water. I expect all of those communities to be good, but I know it's going to be far from that. And I know there's going to be a lot of bloodshed, and I know there's going to be a lot of lives lost. But like I said, y'all got it though, man. You guys 100% got it. 100%. What else we got directly up here? Oh, you said so what you trying to say that black Americans move with the punches and cry about stuff the whole time? So the crazy part is, right? If I as a black American historically point out something and I'm putting the history out there, right? It's crazy how people want to sit up there and say you're crying about it because you're explaining what's specifically happening. This is, you know what? You know what? Let me just say it like this. I want to say shout out to the Trump administration. Shout out to the conservative Republicans for stripping information directly out of these history books. If they get rid of any of the information that I or many other black Americans have talked about and they make sure they just like burn it all, you know what? I'm actually completely fine with it. I would love for everybody to actually be ignorant so that when things happen, it's just a brand new thing. It's like, oh my God, this is happening. How could this ever happen? This has never happened. I would love for that to actually be a brand new thing. Put everybody in darkness. Put everybody in the dark ages. That's what the conservative Republicans, since they have the control, they should put everybody in the dark ages. Cause a blackout, scrub the internet of any type of valuable information, and then just turn back on the power. Allow everybody to be ignorant, rewrite the history books, and just do all just let it be that, right? Because everybody says that color is a non-factor, even though a lot of the people saying that still cares about interracial relationships and race relations. They say that color is not a factor, and they say that everything that took place to Black Americans either A never happened, or B it was so long ago that nobody here ever went through it. Let everybody be ignorant. Let everybody die in ignorance. I'm completely fine with that. Somebody needs to send that to Trump, Tucker Carlson, and the rest of them directly up there. Get rid of any bad information dealing with the Americans, dealing with the wars, dealing with police, the military, dealing with medical. There's no such thing as medical malpractice. That doesn't happen. Nobody's losing lives. No, none of those things are happening. Like I said, just let it all be ignorant. Just let it all be in total grand darkness. That'd be great. That'd be 100% great. Ms. Dalcher said already act like stuff never happened. Yeah, that's true. Punchy said, I've never been through it as a child growing up in Las Vegas in a Catholic school. D Money said, here to do the Lord's work. Must have got some people about here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. But like I said before, this is just like it's crazy out here, man. It's 1,000% crazy how this stuff works. But let's continue. Let me see. I'm trying to actually keep track of the videos. Okay, those are the pictures. We got that one directly up here. Okay, we did that video. Okay, we got this one here. Let's go to here.
Y'all seen the video of that man passionately talking about how Black Americans had no culture? I think I have something clicked in my mind regarding why the rest of the diaspora keeps saying that we as Black Americans have no culture when we as Black Americans clearly can see what our culture is. It's very confusing for us. And I think that part of the issue is that we do not have an immigrant story as Black Americans. Black Americans are not immigrants. Black Americans are Americans. We literally were here before America was America. We were here at the inception of this country. We are Americans, period, point blank, period. But every other part of the diaspora has an immigrant story. They definitely have one when they come to America. So if you are from outside the America and you are a black person that you come from outside America, African or Caribbean, or even like a Black Brit who has an immigrant story to the UK, there is a term called cultural fossilization. It's something that I've heard immigrants, not just from the diaspora, but also Latino immigrants describe, that I never connected it to why people say Black Americans don't have culture until today. Cultural fossilization is when, let's say, your parents immigrated to America from Nigeria in the 80s. Okay? Whenever they did that, their culture was kind of frozen in time. So whatever culture they had in Nigeria when they came to America, they maintained that culture, and they maintained that culture with all the other people that are around them, all the Nigerians that are around them. So their culture is like solidified, and they pass that on to their children, and that's the culture. Meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, the culture is evolving, just like Black American culture is evolving. So your culture kind of gets concentrated. If you come from another place and you come to America, your culture from back home kind of gets concentrated into this one solidified culture. It doesn't evolve. It just stays frozen. That's why they call it cultural fossilization. And I've heard Latinos say this as well. Like they would have this culture, and when they go back home, they speak in ways, the slang is different, everything's different, and people are looking at them like, why are you talking like it's 1985? That's the year their parents immigrated here. So their culture stays the same. And the reason why they say that Black Americans have no culture is because our culture evolves like any culture would. Our slang evolves, our style of dress, our, music, our hairstyles, just the way that we are, our thoughts, our feelings, the way that we move, it changes because cultures evolve as time goes on. But if you came from another place, your culture didn't evolve. It stayed frozen in time, in the time that you came here. So that, I think that's part of the reason why they say Black Americans have no culture, because their culture is like put in glass, and they do the same cultural norms that they did 40 years ago. They continue that, and they think that like, you know immortalization of that time and of their culture is culture. They don't see it as the evolving of a group. And I think that's part of the problem. And I think that's also very unfortunate, because you're seeing that you don't have the evolution of your culture. Your kids come here, and then by the second, third generation, they start to take on the characteristics and mannerisms of Black Americans because our culture stays evolving, and you don't like it. So then you lash out at us. That's just my perspective. Tell me what you think of cultural fossilization.
Yeah, I can see it. First, I would like to say that I never even knew that there was a such a definition. But it makes sense. The moment in time that somebody leaves with that code, like in a sense, think about like Kara Zor-El, who was from Krypton. She, left along with Kal-El, right? Kal-El was a baby. Um, and Kara Zor-El, she was pretty much a teenager, preteen, teenager, whatnot, or whatever. Basically, she was older than Superman, right? Superman grew up directly on Earth. Somehow, some way for Kara, her trip was like delayed in a sense. So by the time she, in a sense, got here, she was a teenager, and Cal was pretty much a grown adult. So there was a lot of time that shifted in between them. I'm not sure if she got caught near a black hole or something, or how that in a sense worked. But whatever cultural norms and everything that she had were stuck, right? Krypton blew up. She came here to Earth. So she's stuck in that mind frame of that space, of that time, of that culture. It cannot move any further than that, because there's nothing else to build, directly up. Culture's gone, everybody's pretty much deceased, planet's gone, and everything. And it's like I said, everything that she knew of that time is encapsulated in her. So that's all she's going to directly go off of, and have to go off of for the next so and so years and all this other type of stuff, because she knows nothing else. So, sort of in a sense, the same thing with the immigrants here. When they come directly from their countries, whatever they left with, that's all they have. That's how they're going to celebrate, that's how they're going to eat, that's how they're going to dance, that's how they're going to move. The culture that they left from could have upgraded, within the last, 30 or whatever years. It could technically almost be unrecognizable. But because their stuff is frozen in time from when it is that they left, that's what they're going to hold on to. Because again, a lot of people don't like change, right? A lot of people like the place of which that they are, because it's not uneasy. It's not a frustration. It's not a challenge to a lot of people. So they're comfortable just staying directly, in that type of thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm going a little bit all over the place with my example, but I feel like I'm getting to some type of point, basically, like links up and it makes sense somewhere. I don't know. But I get everything that she was saying in her example when it deals with culture and how it is that other people have a perception of us not having a culture. Our culture is forever changing. Like we have some things in there that are finite, right, as a base, but in general, our culture when it is with Black Americans is always forever evolving, because for Black Americans, we never just stay in a sense in one place. We're always just like finding, moving, creating things of that nature. Right. That's how we do. That's how we've always survived. That's how we've made it this far, no matter all of the transgressions and all of, the things that have been happening directly to us, either spiritually or physically. Right. But let's continue. So now I get to go to the very last video, which I was making sure to save for last, uh, which is something. Oh, actually, no, 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 no. I got two more videos before I get to the last video. So let's go to the next video.
At them.
Yeah.
Like it been in history. Everybody got their rights through us.
Yeah.
You go back in history, you don't see nobody else fighting them fights, getting hit with the water hoses or get the dogs. No, it was us. Everybody else got their rights off of our fight. And then they get the privileges and then they start looking down on us like we the problem. Like,
These
nigga,
is all
what?
facts. These is all facts.
Nigga, we the
and facts.
reason you cracking right now. What you talking about?
So how
I
do
think
y'all?
they don't like your delivery.
It's nothing
but
wrong
the
with
message
delivery,
is all
though.
a fact.
Man, this ain't DiGiorno's. I don't give a fuck about no
for sure.
delivery.
No, I agree with everything.
And
you
this
said.
ain't Burger King. You can't have it your
On
way.
the
Yeah,
game, nigga.
exactly.
I feel like- I
It's gonna
feel
be
like
the truth,
it's
real raw
all
and
a fact
uncut.
what you saying for sure.
So how do you feel about like these up and coming or these Mexican artists or Hispanic about their new rap style, the cadence, the attire that they present themselves in front of cameras? Like, what's y'all take on that?
We know what the take is. Everything is us. Everything is us. Everything is emulated through us. The cadence, the rap style, the look, the style. They getting edge ups now. Nigga, when I was growing up, essays didn't have edge ups. They was bald, nigga.
Yeah.
Niggas are getting straight lineups, fades. Everything is us. We set the precedent from here to Africa to China to Alaska.
Around the world.
We set the trends around the world. Everybody's a carbon copy of us. But once they get the success, a lot of people start to try to shun us out the picture like we not the blueprint.
So we heard that. And the same thing that every other Black American has currently stated directly out here, we are the blueprint when it deals with a lot of these things directly out here. Because like I said before, for everybody else to say that they have a culture and to be proud of who it is that they are, why are you masquerading or dressing in the image of Black Americans? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm a Black American, I'm proud all day long. And I'm not trying to dress in a sense as somebody else's culture. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not, trying to do this, that, and the third. Now, if I want to, let's see, do something when it's like if I'm in China, I want to do like some natural, like Chinese, wear something. All right, that's cool, but that's me, showing like some type of love to that culture because I'm there. I'm like, yo, your clothes are actually fire. It's like, let me sit up there and put this on real quick. It's like I always wanted to sit up there and do this, but I'm going to do it specifically in that setting, right? Because I'm around them. I'm in their culture, right? As a guest, right? Or everywhere else. But again, even outside of that, outside of me doing that, I'm still going to be wearing 99.9.9999999% of the time. I'm dressing, I'm talking, I'm walking, and I am a Black American. That's what I'm going to sit up there and do. Even if I was in like China, I'm still going to be talking how I'm talking here. I might try to pick up on a few words or something like that. To try to learn. To try to actually have a conversation with some of the people there. Try to do some orders and stuff. But yeah, nah. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. But a lot of people don't want to pay attention to listen though. It's diabolical. We got some trolls in the comment section. To the shadow realm you go. It be like that. Oh yeah, D Money probably already got him. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Somebody said the youth need better artists instead of people like Little Baby Young Thug. Listen to Lupe Fiasco and Black Thought. And the funniest thing is, like, I've been listening to Lupe for decades. Just that's the best way I can sit up there and put it for some decades. Um, like I said, like Lupe, like yo, that man is dope. That man is dope. He does not get his flowers at all. There's like no type of like recognition that really happens. And it's crazy to me that artists like Lupe will only get recognized when they get like older in age. Like let Lupe, sit up there and be like 70 or something like that. And he's still potentially rapping. You may possibly have people wanting to say some stuff. But it's like it's gonna take up until that point for Lupe to reach that age for people to be like, oh yeah, yo, he was sitting up there, he's a dope rapper, this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. And then you're gonna have other people like, yeah, man, I was sitting up there listening to Lupe for years and all this. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that. If you wasn't talking about listening to Lupe, like some MF Doom, Black Thought, or even to the extent of like, Common and other people directly, if you wasn't sitting up there really talking about it, then it's like, don't talk about it now when these people are either gone or now they're getting up there in age. I'm like, dog, you late to the party. Like now you just seeming like some type of like followers. Like it don't even look genuine no more. Just saying, I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. But I still got, Lupe directly on my Spotify, multiple albums, directly up there. Lasers, aka Losers. I got Waves directly up there. What was the one thing he had? They were like Pharaoh. Jesus Christ, I got a lot. I got a mixture of stuff. I got like Fall Out Boy, Lupe Fiasco, Creed. Do I got Silent Hill up there? I don't know. I got a lot of stuff up there. Anyways, I was trying to get directly into music, but let me say this is the best one. This is technically what kicked off the whole live stream directly, from this video right here.
The most influential cultures in America.
Black.
I saw this list. I thought it was so interesting.
What you think?
I thought it was so interesting. The top 5, right? I can probably remember some of them too.
Tell me who you see.
Is it like Indian culture is
Indian
number 5?
Indian culture is number 4.
Number 4, yeah.
Number 4. Indian culture. These are the most influential cultures in America.
Yes.
Indian came in at number 4. Who else you remember?
Indian culture came in at number 4. Is it Mexican culture?
Come in at number 3. Latino culture.
Yeah, Latino culture came in at number 3. Yeah. Latino culture. Okay. Oh, I know this other one.
Okay.
Japanese.
I couldn't believe that.
Japanese culture.
Guess what?
Japanese. Yeah,
Japanese is the number 2 culture in America.
That's wild.
And I didn't think that. I thought Latino culture.
Yeah, but think about it though. Japanese culture, they have meditation, they have teas, yoga,
they're in hip hop, they're in K-pop now. They got their own pop lane and everything.
Here's what they're saying. They're saying Japanese culture, sushi, ramen, anime, video games, Nintendo, PlayStation, minimalist design, martial arts, and meditation is of the culture, the Japanese culture that they say it is influential in America.
Minimalist, like they don't have too much stuff.
Can we pop our collar real quick though?
Let's pop it because I'm getting ready to tell you the number 1, the most influential culture in America is the African American culture.
Yes, Lord.
It is number 1. Guess what they said? Hip hop and R&B music, slang, language, the language influence, streetwear, hairstyles. Soul food, dominance in sports, entertainment, pop culture at large.
Come on, man.
They say the number 1 most influential culture in America is the African American culture.
A lot of the times people hate you because they ain't you.
Right.
Real talk.
Isn't that something?
We, the non-all black Americans here, want to thank y'all for all your contributions.
What?
All right.
Ain't you Dominican?
Only half of me said that, dog.
I'm about to
Chill.
say.
I'm Afro-Latino. My mom darker than Didi. Shut up.
Hey guys, on that note, we're gonna end it.
All right, so we heard that, right? So we heard that. So out of all of these cultures, shout out to all of the Africans that sit up there and say the making big moves and they have a major influence here in America and all this other. Obviously not. Out of all the cultures that were ranked that have the highest influence, Africa was nowhere up there. You had, what was it, India? You had Asians, and you had us. I forgot what was the fourth one that they said. Hold on, let me go back there. Now I got to sit up there and go back. Right, India came in as number 4. Right, and then you got Japan is number 2. Right. I think she might have skipped what number 3 was. Yeah, I think she might have skipped number 3. I don't even know what number 3 was, but I know number 1 is Black American culture. So like I said before, irregardless on how it is that other people want to oh, okay, so number 3 was the Latins? Okay, yeah. So we got the Latins, the Indians and Asians. Right? Just there. But at the top of the top is Black Americans. So like I said, irregardless on what any other culture, what any other nation want to specifically state about their own people, yeah, it's not, you're not beating us. You're not sitting up there beating us. You're not sitting up there seeing us. Like I said before, we have that Midas touch for a reason. That is God given. That is universally given. Like I said, nobody else got that touch like we got. Like I said, I ain't never seen other people around the world trying to really like dance and talk like another group of people. We are the fewest of the fewest of the fewest of the fewest of the fewest when it deals with the population of the world. But yet you got people all around the world that ain't never been to America dressing, acting, talking, and whatnot or whatever, like Black Americans. Somebody got to explain that to me. If that's not influence, if that's not a part of culture or whatnot or whatever, I don't know what else to sit up there and tell people. Like I said, I done seen people in other countries. I don't even know what language they speaking, but I know they're rapping. I know the beat that they're rapping directly on. I know the cadence of who it is that they are trying to emulate, who is a Black American male artist. I know who they're trying to resemble and dress like. So, like I said, I don't know what else to sit up there and tell nobody. Like I said, this is why I say, like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody sit up there and tell me nothing at this moment in time when it deals with Black Americans. You don't got nothing. And like I said, that's not a disrespect or anything to anybody else. It just is what it is. We are the most influential out here, irregardless on if people want to sit up there and highlight, if people don't want to sit up there and list it, if people don't want to talk about it, like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyways, that is pretty much it for the live stream at this moment in time. Shout out to the 130 people that showed directly up here to the stream. We've been going for about a good, I'm just going to round it up to about like 3 hours. That we've been currently going at this moment in time during this live stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Also, shout out to anybody who pulled through directly to the video that I gave you guys earlier during the day, probably like 12 o'clock a.m., somewhere in the morning time. Shout out to y'all for pulling up to the scene directly on that, because I like looking directly at numbers. I just want to see this real quick. On my end, it is telling me at this moment that we had about a good 10K that then pulled up to the live stream on one end, right? Shout out, much love, respect, and appreciation to all 10K people who pulled up. Shout out to the 70 consistent viewers that are currently there at the moment in time. Let me just pull over to the other scene. Also, shout out to the brand new 13 subscribers who subscribe to the other channel as well too. Let me just pull over to the other scene at this moment, and it is telling me that we had about a good 20K that pulled up to the scene. So shout out to them, and also shout out to the current 49 viewers at the moment in time. So we have 20K on one and 10K on the other. So that brings us to a grand total of about 30, a little bit over 30 plus K people that have pulled up to these live streams. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Um, like I said, wouldn't be able to do what I do without people directly like y'all. Somebody said, "Hi, what is the topic?" I just walked in and I've subbed now. Man, that's tough. The topic is also shout out to subscribing to the channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation. The topic was Black Americans are the most influential culture in America. That's pretty much the premise. The topic, the last video, is pretty much the whole reason for the live stream and the rest of the videos that are also showcased directly in there. If you missed any of the live stream, you'll be able to rewind, or you can rewind at this moment in time of the of the live stream and different things of that nature. Sham said, I made it to level 30 in PoE. Okay, I got you. I see you out here. I see you. Yo, what is up? Hack said, nice stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Ms. Douchy said, how about take it up with God if you feel that way? That's bars. I tend to tell a lot of people that if they got a problem with Black Americans, in a sense, being where it is that we are, like I said, they got a list. They said Black Americans are at the top and everybody else is after that. So that's the Latins, the Asians, and the Indians. And again, to the Africans out there that always want to talk about Black Americans, we're not being influential, having a culture. Y'all are nowhere on that list. When it deals with that top four, you are nowhere to be seen directly on that list. So you got to eat that. Hold that one. Because like I said, when I look around the world, I'm not seeing everybody trying to be African. I'm just saying, I'm not seeing that. When I look everywhere around the world, even in Germany, I see white boys trying to, act like, Little Baby or the Baby or 50 Cent or whoever else, trying to dance like Chris Brown and Usher. Like I see everybody else trying to mimic those who are Black American in America. I don't see them trying to mimic and masquerade and cosplay as y'all. They just not trying to do it. Ain't nobody trying to do it. It be like that though. It be like that. Mo said as Seji, Caucasians were not on that list. It be like that, and we're talking about America. Think about that for a minute. So Black Americans are first, and then you got what was it? You got the Latins, the Indians, and the Asians. White folks. What happened? And this is why people ask, what is American culture, aka what is white culture? Good luck with that. Good luck with that one, because like I said before, that the list is the list and it is directly what it is. But I'm pretty sure some conservatives out there are going to go through and they're going to make their own list, and they're going to list the contributions to from their people when it deals with foods and different stuff. I'm pretty sure somebody's working on that at the moment of time, because I know some people are seething in the background. Seething. This man D Money said NASCAR and rebel flags. Yeah. Ah, the Appalachians. That's it's right up there too. But it'd be like that. D Money said white culture is Cracker Barrel. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is I've never been to Cracker Barrel. I've never been there. Wait, have I been there before? I'm not sure. Don't catch me lying. I might have went there before, maybe. Um, He said that's true. That's why they target you a lot more than every other race. The feds have agents in the Black community and others. They target us way too much. Yep. Auntie Poochie said, thank you for bringing this forward. No problem. Like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation. And shout out to everybody that came directly through to the live stream. Everything that you were able to see, I will have that in a short form video without a lot of the commentary. Commentary will be more so towards the end. So make sure to subscribe, have your notification bells turned all the way on so that you can receive the notification when those videos just so happen to go up. Shout out to anybody who donated to the platform, either by way of the super chat, by way of membership, by way of Patreon, by way of Cash App and or PayPal. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without you. And also shout out to my beautiful, wonderful, awesome moderators who do what it is that they do, the Lord's work every single day. So I will let y'all have directly at it, and I will see you guys in the next video and or live stream. Peace out.